Tell her don't run now. Don't run now. She waited till I gave the count, and then suddenly she want to take off. Don't do that.
Running, Sam. I had to put something up.
Gotcha.
I had her put up my ice cream, so I wasn't sitting here eating ice cream on screen.
All right, nothing wrong with that. I could go for some ice cream. You scream, I scream. We all scream.
Ice cream
for ice cream. Hello, everybody. Welcome, folks. We are Grown A Geeks. This is Weigh In Wednesdays. Welcome. We thank you for joining us. I am going to do what I always do and sit and play with my computer for a little bit while I ramble some, and we get into all the cool things that happen in the world of geek. Yeah, man. Yeah, there was some heartbreaking news. Like I heard some stuff that happened, and kill that sound. Some heartbreaking news in the world of geek. What you got? Your face is all.
I'm trying to remember who it was, and I don't want to say the wrong name, but I think it's the same person you're talking about in the past. I mean, there's been several people.
Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, it's definitely a sad situation. Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura, Star Trek, passed at 89, and she is most famously known for being Lieutenant Uhura on the original Star Trek series. Of course, she did a few of the movies that they did for that. So,
and I believe she popped up in several of the Next Generation as like a ambassador or an admiral. Like she did stuff beyond just the original series with Star Trek.
Right. But I mean, a trailblazing actress in her own right, just because of the time, when this was happening, when the show premiered, things like that. So, I think the last time she was on Star Trek was Strange New Worlds. That was this year, 2022. She was on an episode of Strange New Worlds. So that's major shout out to Miss Nichols. May she prosper at this point. So that was sad news.
Yes.
And that was the bummer. But there was some other it's nothing in comparison. So I don't want to make it sound like there was other bad news, but there was other stuff that sucked in the whole, like, I can't even call it, at this point, I'm just going to name it the DCEU. You're not even going to call it the DCEU. It's just going to be the DCEU. They are, they were already kind of doing their shelving of things with the merger. They were making some you didn't tell me my banner wasn't up. Don't put my banner up.
Oh, my bad.
That's cool. They were already making some changes with the mergers as far as like Discovery coming on, and there was actually a lot of things that happened with that. And so there was a bunch of things that were planned, and they, DC was going to make this comeback. It was going to be a strong year for them. Ezra Miller started screwing up. So that really put a halt on.
I mean, there's
we don't know what's happening with the Flash right now. There's nothing definitive. They have not come out and said that they are releasing it. They're not releasing it. They haven't really said what's what. But it is very interesting because the newest news, the Batgirl movie canceled.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Post-production, they're already $90 million in. And this was going to be Leslie Grace starring as Barbara Gordon. And that's not happening now. But I mean, that was actually looking pretty good. Like that was I was actually kind of interested in seeing that. Leslie Grace was going to be Barbara Gordon. Brendan Fraser was coming on as Firefly, and who doesn't love some Brendan Fraser?
Right. Like,
Um,
I mean,
J.K. Simmons reprising his role as Commissioner Gordon. And I like that they were using J.K. Simmons for Commissioner Gordon here, simply because it gives us some feeling of familiarity. I totally butchered that word. It makes it seem like something we know
yeah,
without having to rely directly on cameos and having to rely directly on, like, it's DCEU without saying it's DCEU.
yeah,
And that, I think, is probably the best way. Just tiptoe around it. You know what I'm saying? They've kind of screwed some. There we go. They've screwed some things up with the DCU. And so this is a way to kind of keep us attached without diving in. You know what I'm saying? This keeps our feet in the water, so to
yeah.
speak. And I think that might have been the better way to move forward. But they decided instead that they were just going to just cancel the whole thing. And I've gotten some mixed reviews, or not reviews, but some mixed reports, because there's one report that says the reason they canceled it was because it was just so bad. And I'm thinking, y'all talking about DC, right? DC didn't put out a movie because they thought it was so bad. That was really, that just doesn't, it doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like DC. Kind of had that feeling like DC quick to, like, whatever, we gonna do it, run it. But
yeah, and maybe they finally realized that going that route is not their best bet. Because, I mean, they keep getting hammered every time they do it.
maybe. But I mean, everything they showed so far was looking pretty good. Um,
Well, maybe they got scared because it was looking too good.
they're afraid to win.
Yeah.
You set the bar that high, and then people start to expect it. I mean,
Right.
like that's Leslie Grace, and that was our Batgirl. So I mean, like, honestly, I think it was. I don't know. I was pleased with it. It looked like what you would expect from Batgirl.
Yeah. Like, and it's more of the Detective Comics Batgirl than the, shall we say, Alicia Silverstone Batgirl.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it definitely goes in a different direction just because of the cast. I mean, and Michael Keaton's Batman was supposed to, that was going to be like the cameo that they were going to have. So I mean, it had the potential to really, like, stand out and do something and be something. And DC gonna DC. And so I don't know. Because of that, they went left field. They did what they always do, and they axed the project. But not only that, there's other projects that have kind of been scrapped from. There's other projects that have been scrapped. The Wonder Twins. I was so looking forward to seeing that. Was there enough facetiousness in my voice? Could you hear the sarcasm?
I mean,
I was curious.
On who was doing it? It would have been neat to see them. They might do better as a TV show than a movie, though.
KJ Appa, who was in the TV show Riverdale.
Okay, I already hate it.
And see, the other person is Isabel May. I don't know who Isabel May is. Let's see who Isabel May. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. I don't recognize her from anything. So let's see what her IMDb says. Who is she and what has she done? Known for Elsa Dutton in 1883, Alexa and Katie, Veronica Duncan in couple episodes of Young Shelton. So not a huge repertoire, but that may actually be good in this case. You know what I'm saying? Get some unknowns, let some other people jump out there and be a part of things. You don't have to have the same top tier cast every single time.
Well, it's kind of like, I want to say when I'm trying to think of what it was. There was a movie came out that you heard the cast, and it was kind of like a disappointment because there was no big names. But then the movie actually came out, and because you weren't focusing on the fact that it's got all these big name people, and that's why I'm watching it.
I mean, anytime something stands out because it's just good and it doesn't matter who's in it. Because, I mean, honestly, when Game of Thrones first came out, Sean Bean was like the only name I knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't remember who. What's the guy? Cal Drago.
I have no idea who that is, but how did you not know Kit Harington?
You don't know Cal Drago?
No, like, I know the character, but not his name.
Jason Momoa. I didn't remember. Like, the only thing I would have known Jason Momoa from would have been Conan the Barbarian at that point, and that was however long ago. Where would I know Kit Harington from?
Pompeii.
Where would I know Kit Harington from? I would not.
All right.
Like, Pompeii would not be like, oh, that movie. Like, you know what? I probably would have known if that was the case. They should have got Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have fit any of the characters.
I mean, he's clearly not an idiot like Jon Snow, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just in the context of having, I guess, that same look. Because you say Pompeii and you picture, you're talking Kit Harington from Pompeii. So the only thing that comes to mind close to that is like Orlando Bloom from Troy. That to me is about the same look, the same visual aesthetic. Okay, maybe you dye his hair black. I don't know. He did like dye it dark like he did in Pirates. He had dark hair in Pirates, so you know what I'm saying? It was like that dark brown. That could work. But there were, you know what I'm saying? Like Lena Headey had done a few things. Not to say that there were no stars, but there was nobody in it who was like, oh, so-and-so's in it? I want to see that. And you're not even going to sit here and tell me that you watched Game of Thrones because Kit Harington was in it.
Oh, no, I watched it for Sean Bean. Strictly for Sean Bean.
And again, Sean Bean is a draw. Sean Bean is a name that you at least know. Now, going in and not knowing anything about Game of Thrones, having not read any of the books, going in, I already knew Sean Bean was going to die because it's Sean Bean, and that's what he does. So when everybody was like, oh my God, I can't believe they killed. Why?
How did Sean you not know?
If nothing else was going to happen, that was the one thing that was certain, was that Sean Bean would die in this show.
Yeah.
So that was probably the closest thing that we had to anything being familiar. So for me, I have no objection to taking people who are unknown and letting them be stars. Because I mean, like, admittedly, when I watch a lot of foreign films, I don't know a lot of those people.
Yeah.
I can honestly say, like, when I sat down to watch the Squid Games, was there anybody?
No.
Was there anybody that you knew in the show? You know what I'm saying? And it was fantastic. It was freaking phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, even something like most recently, Umbrella Academy. That's Mo. What's going on, Mo? Say hi. This is the kid. This is the mini me.
I look almost a little bit better. That was good. I'm not coming down like that.
No.
What's that on his chin, Mo?
He got some dirt on his face. But his dirt is all black. My dirt's kind of sandy.
A little sandy?
Yeah, well, it's sandier than yours. But yeah, I mean, like, anytime you have unknowns, you have an opportunity to really focus in because one, you can probably save a little bit on budget. You know what I'm saying? You can allocate those funds elsewhere and put it somewhere that, might actually make a difference. And let me look at this trailer for Pompeii because I'm like really trying to remember Kit Harington and Pompeii. I'm like, what movie is this?
Like the only person I really knew from Hunger Games was like Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
And that was not really a typical role for him.
I mean, as you go through the show or as you go through the movies, you know what I'm saying? You start to see faces and people that you recognize. And you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, that's that actress. Oh, that's that person from that one show and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have stuff like that, that's fine and that's great. That's added bonus. But when I'm talking about like having the draw, like people, your leading roles, so having those roles and having those casted, that's where it's kind of like, how do you find the draw there with unknowns? You know what I'm saying? Even if it's something as far as like, you know what? I can't wait to go see the next Steven Spielberg movie. Doesn't matter who the fuck's in it. It's a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
James Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go see a James Cameron film. I'm gonna see a Wes Craven film.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's always names attached to it that are gonna be the draw. So when you hear a Warner Brothers project, if you hear a DC project, it doesn't matter who's playing Batgirl. It's a live action Batgirl.
Yeah.
That's a live action Batgirl. You want to have a little nod. You want to have a little Easter egg. Let us Alicia Silverstone cameo in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what she does. Like if she's in it, look, they did the thing. I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have no problem with any of that because I go to watch these movies. I want to be entertained, and you know what I'm saying. Like you have these people who get like so. You know what? That's a whole other tangent. Let me not go to that part.
I mean, we do need something to talk about tonight.
Well, it's like so. The whole tangent is, while DC has not done the best in their marketing, and maybe there's been some issues with script. There's been maybe one too many liberties with comic storylines and such. But at the end of the day, we're there to be entertained. And I absolutely refuse to accept live action comic books as trash, regardless. I have a very difficult time with that. And the latest Thor movie got like ripped. It got ripped apart. You know what I'm saying? And while they're not necessarily saying it's as bad as the Dark World, you know what I'm saying? It's like just above the Dark World. It's still like one of the weaker Thor movies. And if you're putting original Thor over this latest one, that's kind of tough. Now Thor Ragnarok kind of sits above the other ones just because it's the most fun. It had good things happening and everybody liked that. But then of course they're saying that this newest one leaned too heavy on the jokes and the laughs and the let's be funny, ha ha ha. And because of that, hey Russell, what's going on, man? We got Russell here joining us. That's our resident author, our book writer, our novelist. So look up Russell Brooks on Amazon and order yours today. A shout out for Russell.
Is it on audiobook?
You know what? I want to say that if you get the digital copy on Amazon, I do think you can set it up for Whisper Sync.
Okay.
So, but there's a handful of books, and actually, you know what? You can go back and check out one of our previous Weigh-In Wednesdays, where we actually interviewed Mr. Brooks. He came on and he was doing an interview, and he got a chance to talk. and we were having a discussion about some of his books and things like that. But where was I? I was having a whole thought. So I'm there to be entertained, and DC has made some things. And Thor, I was talking about Thor, right? So Thor is the one that doesn't get as much love as some of the other movies. But then when you look at some of the artistic liberties that are taken with all comic book movies, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody wants to hold DC to this ultra standard where Marvel's been kind of like, yes, they mapped it out. They had a 10-year plan and da da da. Okay, that's all fine and great. But I could have a complaint about comic accuracy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there are still liberties that were taken, and we're there just to enjoy the story that's being presented. To me, it's still a live action comic book.
Yeah.
So when I go and I sit and I watch Batman v Superman, that's a live action comic book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It might be a weird comic, and maybe it's the Cliff Notes, and I didn't read the 4 issues before it or the 2 issues that come after. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I just picked up a book off the rack and was thumbing through it, and here we go. You needed information that was in the other issues to make it make more sense. But there again, it's a live action comic book. And anytime I get that, I'm happy. I'm happy with Thomas Jane Punisher because it was a live action comic book. He's no John Bernthal.
No.
But it was Punisher. At a time when we didn't have the MCU to, know that another movie's coming in a couple of months.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything to look forward to. So I like to be entertained. And as a result, because I choose to be entertained when I go to see these movies, I don't have to be hypercritical all the time. And I like to watch more movies. So I'm not concerned so much about the cast as much as I am about the characters and how good of a depiction did we do on the characters. It ain't got to be like spit and image.
No. Though, unfortunately, we have those fans that want that exact perfect image, and if they don't get that, all they're going to do is complain about it.
I mean, you have people that, even if we're not talking about having that 100% comic accurate costume or whatever the case may be, you have people that want to stand out as being the person who didn't like it just so that they can be the person who didn't like it.
Yeah.
So they can have that edgy opinion.
Well, and that's like, I remember back when the original X-Men movie came out, and you've got Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, his depiction, like, that's what you think Wolverine looks like on screen.
Yeah.
But then everybody was complaining about the suit they put him in. But they made the joke about the yellow spandex.
Right. They acknowledged it, and I credit to, well, we'll say that very cautiously. I give credit to the movie for we're not going to credit directly, but we'll credit the movie that they did. They were self-aware to recognize that they weren't going to have yellow, what are we going to wear? Yellow spandex, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, we get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's them saying, hey, look, we get it. We know. But it is practical because running out in some yellow and blue biker shorts and neoprene, like, ain't no protection coming with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I go to, I go to the gym sometimes and I have like a little shirt, and I have like, even when I'm outside working, because I have to work in the sun. And of course, that's why that looks like that. That part's like really dark, and then this part is not as dark.
Damn, you actually look lighter than me up there, man.
Well, it's also the light reflecting because I'm shiny. That part there is all shiny. But like, if we can get some of there, that, like, I don't know, that's still a bright light. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is, right, too much. You know what I'm saying? Because you put the cocoa butter on, you get the lotion, and then you start baking. It's like butter, so it browns me too well. But you know what I'm saying? You get out here and you get these people who they want to be the guy that dislikes everything, and they have some kind of standard that you have to meet to impress them. Because I grew up with and I mean, like, look, we are we're grown A geeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of y'all are.
I am very grown A geek. You know what I'm saying? Like, and as a result, it is like,
Hey, you're
when
in
I
the
say
CMH bracket.
when I say I've grown up with this stuff, and I am very much at a point where I am very thankful that this day and age that I was alive to see regular comics on the screen.
Yep.
And because of that, when the comic industry was starting to decline, the movie industry has brought comics back up some. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, Grant, there's other factors, because like the digital aspect. Because let me tell you something. My DC library, DC Infinite, I have all of them. I have them all. I can pull it up, and there are just tons and tons and tons. And when I want to read something or reread something, it's right there, and I love it. And gotta remember how to spell.
Which does Marvel have a service like that?
Marvel does. Marvel does have. I want to say you get, well, for starters, you can get a lot of stuff under Comixology.
Okay.
With Marvel, you get a lot of stuff through Comixology, but I do believe that Marvel just has a direct Marvel Comics app that you can download. And as a result, like, there is plenty of stuff you can get. Let me see if it has my login info here. It should.
Because, I mean, you've always been the really big DC fan, and I've always been the Marvel fan.
Correct.
Like, that's just... like, I appreciate DC. And of course, our
And I appreciate Marvel. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
one that popped up today with the guy flipping off the Superman shirt.
Yeah, it's in my memories as well. I saw it. I was like, oh, look at that. Here we go again.
Hey, I didn't repost it this year.
You did not. You did not repost it this year. And actually, I started to, but then I was like, I
hardly get on that page,
that profile.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's like we see it every year.
Yeah.
So, you know, so like pulling it up yet again, it's like, do we need to? Do we really need to? We probably don't really need to. We've seen it enough times. But I will probably let me see. Okay, that's my page. Where are my notifications? Nope. I need I don't even know where do you find that in like, where are memories found in
I don't know. Like, I logged into this computer and I went to go on, and for some reason that profile was logged in and not my main profile. So, and I had like 30 some odd notifications. So I clicked on that, and it was the first one.
It was in the list of notifications. Yeah. I mean, there's like, I know one of them is like, you know what? Let's try the menu option. There we go. Let's see. Create. Nope. History, pages, most recent, favorite, YouTube's events, something. I don't know. It'll come to. Oh, there it is. Personal memories. 1 year ago. There we go. Let's see. We'll pull this one up. Oh yeah, it's worth pointing out just because my comment. So we'll pop that in real quick. This is kind of funny, so I'm gonna share this. That way we don't have to share it on either of our pages. It'll be shared here, and if anybody wants to see it, they can catch it there. But it's a very simple, like, if you're a Batman fan.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Batman fan, they want you to like. And thanks a lot, Josh. Josh liked it. We gave it a thumbs up. But it's great because there's 2 comments. And I said, LMAO said, it's all good. Ma and Pa Kent taught us to be better than that. Who was going to teach Batman? Alfred? Yeah, we went there. And that is a little harsh, but you know, he'll be all right. He deserves it. But there is something. Let's find it. Because there was something I wanted to pull up here just because I was talking about it. It was my thing. DC Infinite. So I will share this and we will get this put back in. Boom. So this is DC Infinite, and it says right there, browse comics. So dive back in. So there I was reading Superman's Secret Identity. I actually own that graphic novel. It's right here. It's right there. Secret Identity. And I'm reading it right here because it's there and I don't have to take this out. I can just pull that up and read it. And so dive back in. I've been reading through Injustice, Identity Crisis. I've read that a bunch of times. Such a good story. Superman Year One, Justice. And I was pointing that out for somebody else so they could read it because that's a 3-part series and that's actually really, really good. I've been going back reading through Icon and Rocket because Milestone Entertainment. That's a whole big thing. The Sandman series. Sandman was so good. And of course, that's actually a TV show that's getting ready to come out.
Which there's something else.
Alfred, Aunt Harriet. Maybe they would have something, but Alfred would be the only one. Aunt Harriet, not so much. She's a little older. You do. But see, that's the thing. Even if you're not a big graphic novels person, just being able to dive into the comics like this. Because see, look, I'm reading through Future State. You know what I'm saying? Again, Icon and Rocket, Static Shock, Ruby meets the Justice League. I actually have this issue pulled up, of course.
Ooh,
I got this.
Yes, Sandman is coming out Friday.
2
days.
Yes.
As well as Uncharted is coming to Netflix Friday.
Okay. I will probably jump on that Uncharted.
Isn't that the Spider-Man kid?
Yes, that is the Spider-Man kid.
Okay.
Tom Holland.
Yes.
But yeah, I actually pulled up this particular issue there for this reason because there was, I forget what it was, but I had to prove a point to somebody, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. But he even says in the issue, like, it is like, oh yeah, he's got it right there. He's got the ring out, so you know, there's a kryptonite ring.
Mm-hmm.
As you see, he's come through. Boom, there's a punch. So he gets cut. Boom, 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 boom. And that stopped real quick. That stopped real quick. And he can't be stopped, but he can be stunned.
Yeah.
Even if it takes his whole city to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people always want to act like, oh, well, he beat him here. Nah, he just didn't beat himself. Like, there's a big difference. And this was pretty dope because the only way to actually stop a rampaging Superman, throw Lois off a building.
And
Look, that's exactly what happens. Tosses her off a building. Boom. That's how you stop a rampaging Superman. But yeah, I mean, just the being able to go through and pick up whatever issues of any comic pretty much anybody anywhere. And of course, they've got all the different characters. Everybody you can, the top characters are all like right there. And of course, whoever's popular and whatnot. If you like specific artists, you know what I'm saying? Like I do like the artwork by Frank Quietly. That's a good one there. 7 issues. Multiversity. And I loved this whole run right here. I loved this whole run because this Batman and Robin run, Dick Grayson takes over as Batman and Damian Wayne comes in. And so this is the new dynamic duo. And those had some really good stories. And they did good by pulling out some other people or pulling out some things other than what you would expect. It's not the same old same. So yeah, always a fan there. And then of course, even if you want to separate your comics by time, because for a while there, I was going through trying to do just New 52 to get through the entire New 52 series. And you can actually separate out everything. And look, there's Sweet Tooth.
And that's all nothing but the New 52 stuff.
Everything that takes place right here takes place during the New 52 timeline. See, there's a whole new version right there, Superman Beyond, when they did the Action Comics. And then when they did their relaunch, because New 52 was the reset, but Rebirth came in, and that was the reset from New 52. Now there's some there's some storyline stuff that takes place, Doomsday Watch and all that sort of stuff. Not Doomsday, Doomsday Clock. But there's Midnighter and Apollo, Deadman. This Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye. That's a dope comic to read right there. So what I pay monthly for this service is worth it just for the access to this comic library.
So you pay monthly and you get access to all of this.
Yeah, all of this.
You don't have to buy individual comics or anything like that.
I can read all 6 issues of Naomi right here, all 20 issues of Young Justice, 12 issues of Freedom Fighter, 16 issues of Green Lantern, 25 issues of Odyssey, Justice League Dark, 32 issues, Adventures of the Super Sons, all 12 issues. I read, you know what? Let's do it this way. Let's even skip out of that. And this is product searches. No, we still got to go to there. Nope, it took me out of it. There we go. That's what I want. Browse comics. I just want to search. There we go. Let me tell you, White Knight, this is one of the best series I've read in a long time.
Okay.
The Joker is cured. Ends up running for mayor. Wins.
So Joker's a good guy.
Joker gets cured. I mean, you got to read it. I'm not going to say that he was good or he was bad. I'm gonna let you put that part together. But Batman White Knight is a fantastic story, and you got to go through it and look how many issues.
Harley Quinn really steps into her own in the series as well.
All of these are White Knight.
Mm.
It is so good. So you can pick it up right there. Storylines, comic series. I mean, you name it, it's here, and it's great. So I was literally just talking about Doomsday Clock as part of the reset for Rebirth, or after the Rebirth, Doomsday Clock, how that ties in. That's got some Watchmen aspects to it. But yeah, man, like I can be that guy because I have my comics and Black Adam. Still interested. Like I could be that guy. I have my comics and I read my comics and I love my comics. And of course, when it comes to DC, I've got all the reference material right there. I do feel very strongly that Marvel has something very similar for their comics because I know that at one point I had a subscription to Comixology, and I still have some of that with my Amazon. And with Amazon Prime, you can go in and you can rent books, and I read a lot of graphic novels and comics and stuff there. So that's where I get a lot of my literature, my reading material from is right from there. And I already pay for Amazon Prime, so being a Prime member, I've got Prime Video, and in addition to Prime Video, I've got the like they have Kindle incorporated with that. So jump in there, and I mean you can like rent books and stuff like that from there. So I mean it's a lot of stuff you can do. So there's really no excuse for people who are interested in reading comics but don't, because they're there. And if like happy to tell anybody how to get access to all of that kind of stuff. Boom. We will. Boom. So we're going to go here. Let me see what comes up in my Prime rating. Make sure ain't nothing. Not just because they have magazines also.
Really now?
Really now. So let me pull this up. And this is just to, again, just to show you like the cool things that are available. So under Amazon Prime, like you go to your Amazon account, you click the all right here, scroll down, and then it's got like digital content devices. You come down and boom, Kindle, e-readers and books, audio books and audible books and originals. So when you go into this option, Kindle books, Kindle Unlimited, Prime Reading. Go to Prime Reading and see magazines in Prime Reading. Tons of magazines. Comic books in Prime Reading. And if they are part of Kindle Unlimited, hey, The Boys. There you go. See, and I could go right there. I go to Read Now, and it'll send it to the various devices. Nope, this is actually going to pull it up right here. So once again, you pull it up, and you're just good to go.
Which I noticed you had a Harry Potter in your recommended list.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's House of M. There's a good series to read through Marvel. Civil War. I'm surprised it actually. Let me see. Let me find my books. It's overview ebooks. Do they already have? Read before you watch. There's stuff you can read before you watch. Now I've got it may not do it here because okay, there we go. So Batman Under the Red Hood. There it is, Civil War. Manga full series, Berserk Volume 1. Thanks to the kid, he put me onto that. There's The Boys Volume 1. Infinity Gauntlet, Black Panther, Ready Player One, House of M. Wonder Woman, that was Free Comic Book Day 2017 Special Edition. Rogue, Captain Canuck, Batman 10 Cent Adventures, Overwatch, Secret War, See, I just want y'all to see. Notice it says right there, deliver or remove from device. I been had this. Like way back, I think when they first announced that Secret Wars was in the making. There's my Invincible, some more Overwatch, see DC Rebirth, One Punch Man, Free Comic Book Day, G.I. Joe, Harbinger, Ultimate Spider-Man, blah, 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 blah. Like these were ways that I could get other comics, you see?
Yeah.
And there's Scott Pilgrim, another Free Comic Book Day. Been doing Free Comic Book Day since forever. Dark Knight Returns. Boy, this is pulling up my old library.
See, I remember when you could go to an actual comic book store and it was like one day a month you could get a free comic.
Yeah, they still do that. They still do Free Comic Day. Now this is under my Prime reading. So let's look and see what I have under my Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, and it's like, hey, you'd probably like Harry Potter. You're probably right.
Which one are you up to now on that?
Huh?
Didn't you say you started reading those? Or listening to them?
I downloaded them. We got there. I got to that part. I haven't actually. I think literally that was going to be a thing where I was just going to like, you know what? I do have some credits that I could probably use. I'm looking for my actual library. And I'm guessing I just can't find it here because this is my computer. And typically when I have it up, it is on my phone. And that's where all my downloaded content is. So that's the only reason I'm thinking I can't see it right now. Because a lot of times what I can do is I can even like, see, and I thought if I'd like manage content in devices that it would even show like, okay, let's do that. Rentals. See, I know I have books that are rented, but you see, I've got like a ton of things that I have it on. So I've got Audible on 3 different things. The Kindle's on 3 different things. Prime Video is on everything I own. You see.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. But I had a Fire tablet that I used to like. That would be where a lot of my books and stuff would be. Because I mean, that's literally what it's for. That's why we initially got Kindles and Fire tablets. It's for that reason.
See, I borrowed one of my sister's old Kindles, and I just couldn't. I did a lot of actual like book reading, not just comic book reading, but when I was growing up.
As did I. My book collection is not as big, but it's there.
But I never could come to grips with that flips a page. I can't do it. Like, it's easier for me to listen to a book than to read a digital book.
I get that. Now that absolutely makes sense. And so,
like, it's kind of like, and I know some of them will do it, but it's like I need to hear and feel the page turning. I know I'm a weirdo, but I accept this.
It's just a preference. I'm not going to say that there's anything necessarily weird. It's a preference and nothing more.
It's okay to call me a weirdo, Sam. Promise.
Oh,
we've known each other long enough.
You should already know I would not back away from that. I am acknowledging that you have a unique preference for something irrational that's keeping you from enjoying more books. But as long as you're getting your books in, hey. That is all that matters.
I think he just called me irrational. I think that's what happened.
Superman, son of Kal-El. Like I shouldn't have. Let me close this because I will get very caught up in like my comics just because they're there. It'll be like, oh, what new comics are out? Oh, this is so the next series I can see that I'm going to be read is going to be Superman and Robin because it's Superman, John Kent, or Superman, son of Kal-El. That's a new series. And this is like a future state fast forward of the young John Kent, who is now the older John Kent, and Damian Wayne, who is Robin, but he's older as well. So you have Superman and Robin. It's great.
I would imagine.
It's great. In fact, you can actually start off with the first series, Super Sons. So now they're older and they're like the main guys.
Yeah.
So it's
Which I mean,
good stuff to read there.
I mean, Superman's been around since what, the 40s?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know a lot of people like, oh, but comic book characters can't age and yada, yada, yada. No, it's time to retire and get some new stories. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think probably the biggest advantage to having John Kent is that one, it's not Clark Kent. So you get to do something new and something different, and you get to go in a different direction, and no one is looking at it saying, oh, you can't do that. That's not how it would be, because you're writing something new, as opposed to it has to be this, it has to fall in this category, it has to be in this lane, and limiting yourself to something very specific.
And I actually have a comment about this, about how James Bond doesn't age.
Is yours the conspiracy?
I mean, it might be.
It's probably come up a number of times. What do you got that will?
My thing is James Bond is not the real spy. James Bond is the distraction. Because he's just a name. Everybody knows who he is. He never goes by a pseudonym. He never goes by anything other than James Bond. All the bad guys know who James Bond is. And it's just a name. It's kind of like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Okay. Now, you know what? That's actually a different take on it. So is the person who is using the name, is he still the protagonist? Or is he, as you said, just a distraction? Like he's over here doing these things as 007 and 003 is actually defusing the bomb.
Right.
Okay. That's interesting. Doesn't work so much with the Daniel Craig character.
No.
Works really well with the Roger Moore character.
Oh, yeah.
Actually lines up beautifully with Roger Moore, thinking about it.
And a little bit with the Pierce Brosnan.
That's kind of 50-50. That's a little 50-50. Because I feel like Pierce Brosnan did really, really well as a hands-on spy, but he also did really well as a espionage undercover kind of spy. Let's see. It depends on which Bond, and see
Yeah.
that goes into my initial conspiracy theory. So Russell points out that that's not true. Bond has used aliases, but eventually is either outed or forced to out himself to gain the trust of a person he's trying to help. Okay, I absolutely see the point, and in many cases, yes. But you're talking like he walks to the front desk and he says, "I think you have a package for Mr. Smith." That's not the same as that's not really James Bond using the alias, because when he goes to the party, he's going to be at the front door and he's going to be like, reservation for Smith with guest, and they're going to let him in. And as soon as he gets in, the moment he goes up to the bar and the first person walks over, he's gonna be like, "Hi, I'm James Bond." Like he
Right.
like has no shame and doesn't want to use nicknames or code names or anything like that. But I'm going to combine these two things into the theory that I've always held true. James Bond is a code name.
Okay.
It fits for every aspect of James Bond.
Yeah. I can see that.
If it's just the moniker is James Bond, if his birth name is something different, but the name James Bond is synonymous with 007, once an agent has reached a particular status and he can be designated 007, he can use the name James Bond.
So James
as long
Bond,
as you have a vague description and your person can be that vague description, he can be James Bond.
yeah.
Now, we know for a fact that 007 doesn't really mean anything. Spoiler. In the last one, we find out that the new agent, she's 007. James Bond is no longer 007. So they do it a little weird, and it's like, how does that work? I think the 00 part of it is one thing, but I think James Bond is still just a name given to the agents. Everybody knows that James Bond, he's alias James Stock. Okay, yeah. I mean, he even had an alias that he used in Octopussy. So, I mean, I know that like there are aliases that are used. And like I said, when they set reservations, things like that, that's how they get stuff in and out. Even Felix Leiter left something under a fake name that Bond came to pick up by giving that name. So he's still part of the spy game, but Universal Export. That is true. That is true. That has always been his go-to. It explains why he's wealthy, because he works for Universal Exports. I would, yeah, that part I'm familiar with. But I still hold to the fact that James Bond is a code name, just like 007 is that's a status, but that James Bond, which is why we can have multiple people be James Bond for starters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, thematically, it's all supposed to be the same timeline. Every movie is supposed to be one person that did all of these things. Up until you get to the more recent Craig movies, the Daniel Craig Bond technically is a reboot of the universe, where his origin and his timeline falls outside of the timeline that is with the previous versions of Bond. Because they've even made reference in other Bond movies to things that happen in other Bond movies.
Yeah.
Not very often, but there have been times. Most of the only things that have been consistent with Bond have been Felix Leiter working for the CIA. He's the American contact and friend. And it's weird because Felix has died like 3 times.
Only 3?
License to Kill, Felix was. That's what the whole basis of License to Kill is for. Timothy Dalton is avenging Felix. He died there. He died in one of the other films, a recent one, and no. Like, well, I'm trying to keep up with all of these here as he's typing here, but no, I know for a fact Felix died in. So what was the last movie? Don't Die Tomorrow. What is that? Dang
You
it!
just watched that recently, didn't you?
Yeah, we just watched. It's not Die Another Day.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
No, that's a previous one.
How did he get fed to sharks and not get killed? Look at the next message.
Yeah, I see that. No Time to Die. Thank you. Okay, No Time to Die. That's once that he died. And again, because I want to use this one. Yes, in Skyfall, the family home, last name Bond. Already stated the Daniel Craig universe, the Craig Bond movies. That's a 5-movie collection separate from James Bond as a whole.
Yeah, because that's kind of the Daniel Craig Bond is more of a reboot than a continuation.
Right. It is a soft reboot. And I don't think that, well, if nothing else, given how that movie plays out and some of the things that happen in that movie, clearly that couldn't be the Bond that was in Dr. No, or was in Octopussy, or was in Goldeneye. That couldn't be the same Bond just because the timeline doesn't match for the things that he talks about and goes back across versus it's like the Daniel Craig movies are its own little pocket universe inside Bond. And up until you get to him making James Bond just a code name for Alex, what was the guy's name on Remington Steele? What was Remington Steele? That was the show. And was it that Pierce Brosnan? He was Remington Steele. That was the character's name. Okay. I wasn't sure. But basically, Laura Holt is the private investigator on the show. Remington Steele was the face because no one's going to hire a female private investigator. So if she gets this guy here to pretend like he's the guy, then everybody will hire because of course he looks like he can handle things. That guy actually goes on, joins MI6, gets promoted up to 00 status, and that's and he becomes James Bond as a result. But yeah, that was one of those shows back in the day as a kid. I do recall that. Let me look up Felix since we got the phone here and we're on the computer. We're looking up stuff. Felix Leiter. Yeah. Boom. Let's see. Video game. Comics analysis. Okay. All right, all right. Let's
Okay.
see. Okay, so Diamonds Are Forever. Diamonds Are Forever. That's the. Is that the one where we come back? That is okay. Well, that's also the novel version. Diamonds Are Forever. I'm trying to think. What was the second Connery movie where he comes back? Uh Living Daylights. Which one was the Living Daylights? That was. Oh, okay, yeah. I remember. I had to think about that. I was like, what was the Living Daylights about?
Oh wow.
That was Timothy Dalton, and
What's semi crazy? The original Felix Leiter passed away on the 18th of last month. The guy that David Hedison.
oh, that
Sorry,
was
that's just something I came across while trying to find out how many times I was like, yeah.
yeah, they have that listed as 2019. David Hedison. He was known for his roles as the titular character in The Fly in 1958. Ho, ho, ho. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Captain Lee Crane. He was in Live and Let Die and License to Kill. Yeah, see, that one was. I just in my mind, I guess I was remembering the shark attack, and I thought that it was Felix that died in that one, but Russell is pointing out to me, and I'm not gonna just Facebook is weird, so I'm not gonna put that particular comment up on screen. But
Yeah.
yes, that was actually Felix's wife, and some bad things happened, and she died. Felix was tortured. James Bond went back to get revenge against drug lord Franz Sanchez. And that was Robert Davey as Franz Sanchez. Robert Davey, I believe, is honestly, I think like he's underrated as just as an actor in general. I mean, he's a bad guy and he plays a really good bad guy, but he plays like an interesting bad guy because he's the kind of person you believe could be very capable, but not good. If that makes sense. Like he was one of the FBI agents in Die Hard. Robert Davey. He was, you know what? He was one of the brothers in Goonies. So you had him and you had uh Cypher from Joe Pantoliano. Like it was bothering me because if I did not get that name, Matrix, I was gonna get myself. I was really gonna get in my feelings if I didn't think of that. So I'm glad I thought of that. But the two brothers were Robert Davey and Joe Pantoliano. And they the mother from the Goonies, she had those two, and then of course Sloth, and Baby Ruth. And so like that actor, Robert Davey, he's the kind of person, like I said, you believe that he could be capable, but not a good person. So I think he's a really good villain. And I think he needs to be in more movies. And yeah, like I said, he was the one when they were talking, he was like, you got to come here, this kid. This kid's incredible. And they're like sitting there and they're just like, they seem like really bad guys. Like, he's you can see that he's got that Sicilian blood. He's got the Sicilian speak, It's very, very prominent. But he's been in a good number of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he's worked with everybody, man. You know, he's one of those guys that like he's one of those actors that you know him, but you don't know that you know him because you don't know his name. You know his face.
Mm-hmm.
Very distinctive look,
Oh yeah.
but most people don't catch.
And he's never really that main bad guy. He's like a subsequent bad guy.
I mean, like, and to his credit, he was the main bad guy in this Bond movie.
Yeah.
That might be I would literally have to I'd have to like sit and go through his IMDb. But as far as like movies that you know him for or you immediately associate with him, yeah, he's never been like the main villain.
Yeah.
But he's a really good villain and he's a great actor. He's been, you know, a lot of credits to his name. And I like watching him in movies. He's good. It makes me think of like another actor. Andrew Divoff is another actor who kind of falls in the same category as Andrew Davey. Like, I mean, there's a Robert Davey and Andrew Divoff could both be in the same movie, and you might not know that they were both. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like they. You know what? Let me pull up for those people who are watching and don't, you know, might not be right in front. Rather than run off and.
So you're talking about our younger audience that might not know who we're talking about?
Correct.
Oh, that would be me then.
6 months, woman.
Look, I have no. After he stopped like mentioning the Goonies, my brain shut off because I like.
Hey, we're all lucky mine hasn't shut off yet.
Let's see. And I'm just going to bring him up. That is Andrew Divoff.
Nope.
Let's see. Let me pull him up from. Actually, let's go to his IMDb and I will find the movie.
The Goonies?
No.
No. That's not the one from the Goonies.
No.
That one, that's
That's this one that he's gonna go look for now.
trying to think of like maybe his biggest movie.
Which I feel like I saw him in something recently and looked him up. Because I thought he was somebody else. Which I just did that again because apparently I'm just good at that.
I mean, he's had so many credits. He's been in so much stuff that it's very easy. I don't know. The reason he comes to mind is he was Mendoza in A Low Down Dirty Shame. And I love that. I absolutely love the movie A Low Down Dirty Shame. And Andrew Divoff was the main bad guy in that. But You know what? I need to open this up in 2 different tabs because we need to be able to like do a side by side between these two. So, a rebellion begins in Andor. When does that one start? The new Andor series. That's a Disney Plus.
I don't know.
I think that's going to be this week. Or not this week, but this month. I mean, there's a couple things that dropped. Like, I just like that was one of the ones I thought might have come up. Was let's see, photos. Let's go through all photos. Let's look at the grid. Let me see.
August 31st.
End of the month. Okay.
Yeah.
So this month, but the end of the month. Huh.
Really?
What you got? What you got?
Really? The crazy guy from Thor. Well, he wasn't really crazy in the first one. But
Eric.
yes. He's in it.
He's in Andor?
Yeah.
Huh.
Unless I'm just being a complete idiot and recognizing people wrong again, because apparently I'm good at that.
Some people are easy to recognize wrong.
Nope, I was right.
Wow. That was Benicio del Toro. Okay, so here are the two. I'm gonna just let me see.
What?
You gonna share?
The Mrs. Dursley from the Harry Potter series
Is in that new show?
is going to be in Andor.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not telling who any of these people are. Yes. Sorry. Sorry, I got excited.
I see. I'm like all into what you're talking about now.
Right?
Alan Tiddick. Or Tuddyk.
Oh, bruh, like he's in everything. That dude probably like I'm curious who has the most credits, and I feel like he would be in the running.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean,
I think
like,
the last thing I saw him in was Resident Alien and Doom Patrol. Those are the last 2 things I remember him from.
but I mean, it's like him and Nathan Fillion are
No.
huh?
He has way more credits.
Right. But it's like anytime I think of him, I think of the other, and it's just
It's Firefly. It's always Firefly.
So, and it's like he is one of my favorite characters, voice actors. Like,
Probably people.
yeah.
I get it. Like I knew exactly who you were talking about. You know what? I'm curious. Now I'm curious.
He has 140.
140 credits.
Yeah.
Wow. That's up there.
Yeah.
That's up there. I mean, you talk about a working actor, but I also kind of feel like maybe he doesn't say no to roles.
Oh, he probably doesn't. But like, I want to say, because I know he's in Moana. Let me find it real quick. Because I want to say he's got he's a stupid character in Moana.
That would make him the chicken.
I was going to say probably the chicken.
show I want you to watch with me.
Uh-oh.
It's an older show, like not like
But
the 80s, but not recent either.
What show?
The Shannara Chronicles.
yep.
Don't look at me like that.
And yes, he is he. In Villager number 3.
He's a no-name villager in the chicken.
Yeah. But he's also voice acted several different versions of Green Arrow.
I thought it was all versions of Green Arrow.
Well, I'm not saying he wasn't, but
I mean, for a while, he was like the Green Arrow voice.
yeah. Justice League War, he was Superman's voice.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's done.
Who was he in Ice Age?
Scrat, probably. No, I'm dead ass. Like he gets those types of credits where he just like makes sound.
Yeah.
It's not even like a talking.
He needed to figure out how to bury that nut somewhere else.
Now you're going to make me, like I was going back up to the top.
Maybe it
I was
wasn't
gonna
Ice
look.
Age. It just looked like Ice Age. Scroll back through.
I know he was in Frozen. He was multiple characters in Frozen.
I'm gonna say, I think he was the troll wizard or something like that.
Grandpappy?
That guy.
Luke.
The father of the
He was
guy that was supposed to get married.
He was in Ice Age Continental Drift. He was Milton and Hunky Siren.
Oh, the Hunky Siren. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this Shannara Chronicles.
The Shannara Chronicles.
Shannara?
Them things. Yeah. What?
No.
Why?
No.
You're mean.
No.
Yes.
I'm not. I'm not mean.
It's rated pretty decently.
Huh?
Hold on, let's take a look at this.
All right. Hold on. Before you start looking into this, I have seen what they did to my Jack Reacher series. I have seen what they have done to the Harry Potter series. I have seen what they have done to the Game of Thrones series, to the Hunger Games series. I have seen what they've done to so many books when they turn them into either a TV show or a movie. I am not going to ruin my Shannara Chronicles by watching it.
Well, Sam can watch it, and then Sam and I can talk about it.
Who is she? Eritrea?
Eritrea.
Okay, that sounds cooler. I definitely got to move those syllables around somewhere.
She's the Rover girl.
Yeah, I don't know. I need maybe one or two more angles to determine if I'm a watch for her. Manu Bennett's in it. He's cool. I'd watch. Like he's badass. I'd watch him. What is the basis of this?
So,
Because it looks like Sword and Shield, Blue Lagoon.
So it's basically there's 4 lands left, and it's like elves, trolls.
Thanks for stopping by, Russell. Elves, trolls, 4 lands.
Elves, trolls, and I forget the other 2, but they all live in their own little kingdoms, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
They don't really cross into each other's territories. They don't really like to help each other, but they end up, because of fate, there's an elf and the rover girl and a half elf who all end up fated to work together to save this magic tree, which essentially saves everybody because it keeps all the demons locked away.
Okay, well, that was a good series. Let's see. So, have you watched it already?
Oh yeah.
And I've read it.
So, who is Lyria? Lyria?
Mm-mm.
Lyria?
Mm-mm. She's not one of the three main ones. So.
Oh, well, okay. I'm slowly losing interest again. Because it's like, okay, what is she? Why is she in it? Who is she? And because, of course, when you kind of looked at, wait, is that the same person? That is the same person.
Hey, Gimli's in it.
Yeah, I saw that. No, like literally, I was looking and I saw the cast. Like I said, I saw Manu Bennett. I was like, oh, okay. I might check this out. But Poppy Drayton, I don't know how I feel about that.
I might give it an episode just to make her happy, but I don't.
Let me know when. I'll try to suffer through that
See,
one.
and that was the whole reason, because I know how you are about like your books and stuff. So the whole reason I even wanted to bring it up was to see if it was something you and Sam even knew about. Because I know
I don't have a clue.
Trust me, Sam, your earlier point about the person that sits there and goes, why did they do that? They shouldn't have done that. I wish they hadn't done this. It's this one right here.
Mm-mm. No.
Well, but at the same time, I will say that even as okay. So here's the thing. When you adapt a book to a movie, it is different than when you adapt a comic book to a movie. And I say that simply because, with some exception, your books tend to feel more grounded in reality because there's no visual medium there.
It's all here.
Right. It's all in your head. It's just words on paper. When you look at a comic book or a graphic novel, because you already have a visual representation, all you have to do is animate that. So cartoons are ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Animated movies are fine. DC kills that.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel has done really well with a lot of them. Not the same kind of strength, but they've done really well, and I don't want to take anything away from them like they haven't. But when you adapt a book, going into that fantasy, it doesn't always translate visually the way you hear it. With the comic, you just have to recreate the panel.
Which I know when I was going off on that whole tangent about not why I didn't want to watch it. I know I did toss Harry Potter into that, but with Harry Potter, they at least stayed mostly true to the story. In the Jack Reacher movies, they took the story and threw it out the window. In the Wheel of Time series, they took the story and threw it out the freaking window.
Now, did they throw it out the window, or did they adapt and twist and rewrite and change?
All right. Well, because I don't. Do you plan on watching the Wheel of Time TV series?
I finished it.
Okay, you did finish it. All right.
I struggled, but I did finish it.
Okay. Because I still haven't even finished it. I've got to like the 4th or 5th episode, and I was like, I just can't do this anymore.
It is literally like the last 2 episodes that you were like, boom, boom, boom. Or the last 3 episodes, you're just like, boom, boom, boom. Because those are all really good. But just before that, it just drags, and you're just like, oh my God, come on.
It's some of the things they change, like changing the specific gender of a character does not change who that character is.
Okay.
That I didn't have a problem with. But the fact that the whole premise of the book is they're trying to get the Dragon Reborn, who is a male, I guess, would it be the protagonist?
Right.
Male character in the book series, who is the one that is supposed to either destroy the world, but he has to save the world before he goes mad and loses his mind because the male half of the source of power is tainted, so it drives the men that use it mad.
Right.
The women don't have that issue. Well, in the TV show or the Amazon Prime series, they were saying that the Dragon Reborn could have been one of the female from
Right.
from
that town, from the village.
Right. Well, that destroys the entire storyline.
Just because the character had to, let's see, and how am I wanting to say this? The Dragon Reborn has to be male because it's the dragon.
No, not
otherwise
the dragon.
Well, I'm saying like otherwise they would just be one of the other. What were they called?
Aes Sedai.
Right. Otherwise, it would just be an Aes Sedai.
Right.
So if it's not an Aes Sedai, if it's not an Aes Sedai, then it would anybody basically. If just correct me if I'm
okay
not wrong with this. Hey, what's going on, man? Welcome. Thank you for jumping in. Ed, he came in with opinions and hot takes. 4 out of 10 on the Wheel of Time.
Which all I see is Facebook user.
Right. I'm waiting for it to update on the other one so I can see. I didn't have my window up at the time, so I missed it. Looking at the time, is that you, DJ? I feel like that's DJ. Because this is about the time DJ normally hops on.
Okay.
But 4 out of 10. So okay. Men could not use magic. When men did use magic, it destroyed their minds.
Correct.
So and I guess that's why I'm just clarifying that the only point of it being called or it being the Dragon Reborn is that, oh no, that's Lawrence. What's going on, Lawrence? Lawrence is gonna hook us up and we're gonna do a special episode. Lawrence has some stuff coming for me. And once those items come, we're going to do a special episode. We're going to do an unboxing episode.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got some cool stuff coming. But no, again, so men who use magic, they basically went crazy. The whole purpose of this being the Dragon Reborn is that it was in fact a man. And you're saying the whole storyline will go out the window if the Dragon Reborn had been a woman. And for those of us who did not read the books, we see that the girl's name, if anybody remembers.
Which one? Egwene, Nynaeve, Elaine.
Egwene. The one from the village.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One cliche love interest of our main protagonist,
which is also part of the book.
Okay. If he leaves and she cuts out in like the second episode, we're going to lose half of our male viewers ages 15 to 25. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep her around in the story. Let's allude to the possibility that she could be. We'll make it very obvious she isn't because she is with
without being the possibility of being the Dragon Reborn, she's still a very integral part of the story.
And I get that. And she remained a very integral part of the story. The entire, like her entire arc seemed to be getting her to
Tarvalin,
because that's where all of the
Aes Sedai.
thank you. That's why I'm glad you're my brother, because otherwise I couldn't do this. But yes, getting her over to Aes Sedai, to the Aes Sedai. That way she can either train with them, learn up under them, study with them to enhance her powers, and possibly even become one of their rank.
Yes.
I kind of knew early on it wasn't gonna be her.
Right.
Because she is magic. Like she has magic already.
Yeah.
Then they tried to throw in, spoiler alert. They tried to but it's been out long enough. We're actually doing you a favor, saving you time. You've read the book, so I'm not really ruining anything for you. Are you going to watch it, darling?
I've already watched it.
Oh, you watched it already? Okay, I didn't know. He hasn't finished it, so I was right. He hadn't finished it. That's why I was checking.
I couldn't get past that one.
I got you. So when we see who was the village healer?
Nynaeve.
When Nynaeve got thrown in the mix and she might be the Dragon Reborn, I was like, stop. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Just say you don't know who it is and leave it at that. Because saying it could be any one of you. No, it can't. And I feel like she knew
Moraine.
Damn, this is hilarious. Yes. I feel like Moraine knew the entire time which one was the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
But she brought everybody else along, one, to motivate him to go. Two, she kind of could use the help. And she could always she obviously was about that life. And so she was willing to do what needed to be done. And I could easily see her being like, well, whatever you do, don't take this one. He's the most important one to me. Oh, that's the one we want. Okay, well, fine. I guess if you're going to twist my arm, take him. Sacrifice their ass in a heartbeat to get the dragon where he need to be. And that seems like the kind of thing that she would do. Because when it's all said and done, she has a duty. And although it looks like it at times, she does not. She takes her job very seriously.
Well, the funny thing is she does have a duty. However, it's not the one you think it is. And you won't understand until you get further into the series or you read the books.
I don't know if they're going to do a season 2 on that.
I thought they were already planning it.
I mean, they planning it, but this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
They was planning a Batgirl movie.
That's true.
See how we came all the way back around? That circle. We came all the way back. We brought it all the way to the beginning. Love it.
But like the Red Sisters, their entire purpose for being is to gentlemen that can channel.
Okay, those are the Red Sisters.
Right.
Gotcha.
Like, that's their entire purpose for existing.
Yeah, because that one Red Sister was hella mean. She had a very square face, too.
Yeah. There are other things involved with her as well that we won't get into because that's much further into the series. But
did she used to be a man?
No.
Okay. It just seems like her character, and this is not against the actress at all, but literally, it just seems like that character,
Which
she goes a little too hard trying to gentle men. So it feels like she was a man who was gentled, and now she wants to like just gentle everyone kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, yeah, that's why I asked, and that's why I was
Yeah.
like, that would have been a little
No,
much, but
I mean,
still.
and honestly, all of the Red Sisters are kind of like that. They're
Okay.
like very extremely anti-men. Like you've got the Green Sisters that are all about the men, and then the Red Sisters that are like, no, we don't want none of them.
The Green Sisters are like, hey, more for us.
Pretty much.
Green Sisters, and it's funny now that you say that, the Green Sisters actually had two bodyguards. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I ain't mad at you. Do your thing, sister.
There's in the books, there's actually a couple of them that have like 4 or 5.
Like you said, they all
Yeah.
about their men's.
Well,
Gotcha.
that's the Battle Aja. They're the
Right.
ones that are supposed to be training warriors to take on the Dark One.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what are the blue?
The blue are kind of like the Seekers. I know it's going to sound weird, but they like look for the signs of the return of the dragon.
Okay.
Kind of.
So they're
No, I get that.
Kind of.
Okay.
The brown sisters are the researchers. The yellow are the healers. And the white are like the diplomats.
I thought there were, you know what? I only saw one sister with the white garb, and she was the
Mhm.
main sister.
I don't know.
She was the one sitting on the throne at the temple.
Yeah, she wasn't a white sister. She was the Amrlin seat. She was the mother.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, she looked like she was formerly a blue sister.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up on all of that.
Yeah.
But now she was the mother. She was the main sister. And like I said, I just saw that she had on the white garb.
Yeah. But that was not. Yeah.
You know what? As we were talking about different actors and actresses and whatnot, that would have been a perfect role for Gina Torres. Just to make sure that our Firefly cast is getting work.
Gotcha. I got you.
That would have been ideal. She could have fit that role very well. And who was the actress there? That is look it up. Now it's funny because it actually got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb and 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I have to say, like, even myself, I will say it wasn't bad. But not being bad does not automatically mean it was good.
Right. Now, you were able to get through it. You watched the whole series. She watched the whole series.
No, I didn't. We stopped on the same episode.
And you never went back to it.
Nope, because you and I have a rule that we watch a show together. We finish it together.
And I told you I was done with it and you could finish it without me. But anyway, y'all two got into it. Neither of you have read the books. Myself, my sister, and my mother could not watch the show. We have all three read the books and read the series. And I understand where some people that have read the books are coming from. Like, I had big issues with the timeline and how quickly they did stuff. And some of the stuff that, like, that to me was real, and most of the people that read the books was really big stuff.
You had an issue with a beard.
Skipped over.
Who was it that had a beard that you had a problem with?
I thought it was weird. Actually, seeing him with the beard wasn't that bad. But, like, the character Matt, like, he makes comments throughout the entire book series that he will never have a beard, but they gave him a beard to make him look older. But the thing is in the book series, which I get why they needed him to be older in the TV show because of some of the things that were shown and done in the TV show. But when these people left their village, they were like 16, 17 years old. They weren't in their mid-20s.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean,
so I get that they were trying to make him look older, but if you had read the books, you'd know how that was against his character. And no, it didn't really detract from who he was as a person. So that didn't bother me. It really didn't. Like, when I first read about it, I was like, that's kind of weird. Seeing him in it wasn't that little thing that bothered me.
okay.
It was the completely skipping half of the places they stopped on the way and some of the people that they met along the way.
I guess I don't know. In the TV show, he was like, I'm never going to shave my beard. As opposed to, I'm never going to grow a beard. Now it's, I'm never going to shave my beard.
Which
I guess like this kind of goes into the conversation we were having a little bit earlier as far as like having some cinematic liberties.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think they went too far trying to be politically correct.
Try to be politically correct or trying to fit everything into a time frame. Because one thing about it, we sit at home and we, those of us who watch TV, was like, they only needed to show them stopping in these places. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to show that they went there. Bruh, for like 20 minutes of footage. If they were even in the town for 20 minutes. 20 minutes of film footage could literally be a morning, noon, and night in a town.
Okay. But at the
if
same
they
time,
do that, they would then have to build a whole set for that town. Have extras to fill that town. But if we know that they're traveling and we can rent these 4 horses, we can put their asses out there in that field, let them walk around in circles with a camera behind them, and we can travel, have them stop one spot that's important.
Except in book 1, the end of book 1, they wound up at the Eye of the World. They didn't get anywhere near Tarvalin until book 2. Whereas...
Okay, go ahead.
Whereas in the TV show, episode 5, they were in Tarvalin. And then went to the Eye of the World.
Okay.
Like, it's just the timeline.
Well, is it the timeline or is it what's the word? It's an open world book. Okay. If whatever happened in this town doesn't affect what happens in the Eye of the World and vice versa, it doesn't matter where they go first, second, third, so long as they go to all the places.
Okay.
And
oh Lord.
Sorry. I gotta do this. All right. Their town is right here. Tarvalin is here. The Eye of the World is up here.
Got it.
Here.
Oh my God, you killed the Eye of the World. Okay.
Like, why go this way instead of just going this way?
but it's the same way.
No, it's not.
It's forward progress is what it is. And there again, if you have your big, like I said, this is kind of where if you were going to do, okay, you know what? And I use this as my example because it is my favorite example to show how something can be so completely wrong from the source material, but it still accomplishes the same goal. Captain America Civil War.
Okay.
The airport fight is like 10 people running at each other, 5 on either side. That's not even a full fight. I've been in bigger fights than that. Many, many moons ago when I was a little young pup. But like, you have these 5 people standing on this side and these 5 people standing on this side, and they are opposing one another. Gonna fight you because you're on the other side. This is a civil war. Friend against friend, brother against brother. Wanda against Vision. You see what I'm saying? Like literally, everybody has their exact opposite kind of thing on the other side. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that dynamic is there. And that was the feeling that you got from the comic, that it was very decisive and you had to pick a side. You couldn't straddle the fence. You couldn't be in between. You were either with us or against us. And that was it. And that's how it felt. And when you watch Captain America Civil War, that's still how it feels. Opposite sides. Now, when that big battle takes place, it is in that battle where we get the iconic repulsor beam against the shield. That's where that takes place. That is the cover image for Civil War. When you say Marvel Civil War, that is the visual that comes to mind for most people. That moment is iconic, which is why they had to put it in the movie. But look at where they put it in the movie. 10 minutes before the movie ends, after this whole subplot with Bucky and the parents, like, bruh, no, that has nothing to do with Civil War. Nothing to do with Civil War. But everybody was still very much Team Cap, Team Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? And it fit because it still accomplished the same goal of making us divided and making us choose sides and not feeling like one side. You couldn't straddle the fence. You couldn't be like, well, I mean, I get why Iron Man was mad because, you know, Bucky did kill his parents, but Cap was right because they really shouldn't have had to sign the Sokovia Accords. Like, that's kind of messed up. Okay, Team Cap and Team Iron Man, you don't get to be both. Ain't no third team. Pick one. Now, Eye of the World, they got to go to this place. They got to do a thing. They got to go to this place. They got to do a thing. Whichever thing is the most important, whichever thing is going to be the most iconic, whichever thing is going to be the thing that stands out. Because let me tell you something. And I've said it, I will say it again. Eye of the World, I struggled to get through, what was it, 10 episodes? I struggled through those 10 episodes. Struggled. When I got to like episode 6, I was like, you know, this actually isn't a bad show. I watched episode 7. I was like, oh, snap. It's been, okay. They doing something. All right, we got a little fight happening. 8, 9, and 10, back to back. Because that's where the entire thing was 8, 9, and 10. Now, when you read a book, especially if it's like The Wheel of Time, which has how many books?
14.
Well, there's potential for 14 seasons.
There you go. Because I mean, if by the end of this movie,
I mean, if they don't chop it up like they did book one, it only take 2 seasons.
but still, like, look at how many episodes.
So, okay, I get.
Sorry, I had to.
Well, I get where both of you are coming from. Like, I get Sam's logistical. Take out the pieces that don't really add to the action of the story or things like that. I get that. Keep the movie going. Keep that story going. But I get yours as well because Game of Thrones has a similar principle to it where they wanted it to be season 1 went with this book, season 2 went with this book, and Wheel of Time should have been more like that. If you're going to stick to a book series and make it as close to that as possible, you should stick to it as close as you can. If you don't want to do 14 seasons, don't do 14 seasons, but do better.
Well, you can't even guarantee. But see, that's the problem. You can't even guarantee 14 seasons right off the rip. Like, you're lucky if you get the one and it does well enough to get a second. And then if you get a second, you got to hold on and keep people around for a third and a fourth. It's not as easy as people think. If you're not getting watching these views and these add-ons, then you ain't getting a second season.
But at the same time, if you're having people who want to watch it because they read the books and they want to see what you've done to it and you've now destroyed everything for it, you don't get the views either.
But, and this is the same thing this is why, and I've brought this up a couple of times before. This is when I get into this is my elder geek speaking here. But that is the difference between based on and adapted from, modified for, you know what I'm saying? Like, you take a book and you do a TV show based on that book. Say it was just one book, but the TV show was really good. Somebody got to write a story. I need more story, but there's only one book. No, I need more story. We're going to do another season of this. So write some more stuff.
It's like Game of Thrones. They
ran out of book.
They ran out of book.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's why they took the long hiatus between the seasons, is so he could finish writing that next book. But when he got to the end of it, they literally, that's why the last season is as bizarre as it is because they're trying to stick to those characters in that story, but they had to fill in everything. And I feel like they rushed certain things and left certain things out.
Oh, yeah, they always do. Like, okay, so here's the difference. When you have something like Wheel of Time, although it was not a one-to-one adaptation, it was still a much closer remembering of the story than, say, something like Matt Damon's The Bourne Identity. I love The Bourne Identity. I love all like 15 of the Bourne books. Robert Ludlum is without a doubt one of my favorite authors. I've read tons of his books. But when I watched that movie with Matt Damon, that is not The Bourne Identity. I don't know what that is. That's a man named Jason Bourne who had amnesia and can fight good. But that's not The Bourne Identity, because he didn't do that in order to capture Carlos the Jackal. There's no mention of Carlos the Jackal in all three. Treadstone, somebody literally thumbed through the book, saw like 4 names, circled those, and went to a whiteboard and said, all right, how are we going to do this? Nobody in the room they literally read the back cover of The Bourne Identity and made a whole movie based on it.
That's like,
and see, that's how I feel they did with Wheel of Time.
But the fact that I'm sitting here and you know each of these characters, and if your only complaint is that there's more to the story than what we were given, I don't feel like I'm not going to say it's not a valid complaint, but I don't feel like it's the same kind of complaint when you have to adapt something. It's a different form of medium. And keep in mind that this isn't a fanfic of someone who loved the books and wanted to make it and was able to get these people. No, this is some people who put some money in it and want to make a profit and get their money back. So they need you to like it enough to watch it. They need me to like it enough to watch it, and need us to sit here and have a conversation about it, and you not tell me not to waste my time watching it because it's not as good as the book. You got to find that balance. And that's the problem. And you know what? We going back around full circle again. That's the problem with DC. You see what I'm saying? Because DC is so liberal with what they're doing with their movies. You done got me riled up. I'm finna pour me a drink and everything. So they've got
doing whiskey.
Yeah, we could do some whiskey. They've gotten so liberal with what they do with the movies that the interpretation is left to the individual directors. Warner Brothers is like, no, we want these iconic characters, and we want to do it like this, and it needs to be like that, and da 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 da. And you start pulling away from Lawrence. Have a drink with us. You start pulling away from the essence of the character, because even though Civil War had 10 people on the screen jumping at each other, it still felt like there was conflict. It still felt like it was this side versus that side, right versus wrong, for lack of a better phrase, good versus evil. Whatever side you personally were on, you felt like that was the good side, and the other people were the evil guys. Everybody was right and everybody was wrong. You know what I'm saying? The feeling was the same. So Civil War still gets a pass, and they get credit for having done a great job. Well, I've got to walk off, so you got to take the screen for me to get mine.
What, you can't just look at the wife and say, whiskey?
The wife is in the bed. The wife gets up at 4 a.m.
That's where this one would have liked to have been, but she got talked into being here.
And she's been a part of the conversation, so it's worked out. But, you know what I'm saying? It's that artistic interpretation and that adapted from, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like if they had just said Batman v Superman based on DC Comics, cool. We could have left it at that. But because you're taking characters that people already have a very clear understanding of, you put any Batman on screen, we expect, we know who Batman is. We know who Batman is. Anybody who watches movies and TVs knows who the fuck Batman is. We don't need to see not no pearls. We ain't got to see nobody walking at the movie theater. Ain't no parents got to die. We know Batman. Oh, pointy ears, cape, belt, gadgets. That's Batman.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's Owlman. That's Batman with feathers. You know what I'm saying? Like you take The Boys. Oh, guy in an all-black costume, brooding, has gadgets. That's no cape Batman. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how it goes, because we know that character. So if you do something with the character of Batman, it has to be what we already know it to be. You could do whatever the hell you want to do with Star-Lord. Who? I don't know Star-Lord. Oh, you tell me he's a goofy goofball from Kansas or no, from Missouri?
He's a space Deadpool.
You know what I'm saying? Not even a space Deadpool.
Yeah,
like
that's cool enough.
Yeah, like he's
no.
What was his character in Parks and Rec? He's a space him. And I'm okay with that.
I was gonna say he's the great value Deadpool.
Okay. Yeah, he could be the great value Deadpool. I'm okay with that.
See, this is what I like about so honest, I've never read a comic in my life, never touched one, not a graphic novel.
Space Andy.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That because that's what he is. That's what he is. and he needs characters similar to
Wait, does that make Drax Buzz Lightyear?
No, Andy from Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay.
That would probably make Drax. He would be closer to like. I don't know if there's a Parks and Rec character that fits Drax because he's so literal.
Dwight from The Office.
Kind of. Drax is a Ron Swanson. Yeah. I mean, what he means exactly what he says. So yeah, I could see that. That actually works. That works. Huh. See if I can get a. I don't think anybody's up right now. So I'm going to. Hey Lawrence, I'm gonna post the link. Don't you want to hop in here while I go get a drink? Gonna put that right there for you, buddy. Boom. Take your pick. However you want to jump in here.
Yes, because we can't leave Dave alone.
You're not alone. I'm here.
I mean, okay, so okay. Yeah, no. Oh no, let me delete that comment. I'm not putting that comment up there. You're doing what? No, you're not there.
You're not there.
What? You can't be there because you're here. But this is, you know what, we're talking. I would even say like so who has like the same song over and over and over, like doesn't really change? Because I'm thinking like that's probably going to be like your Chris from Parks and Rec. That would be Groot. He would be Groot. Just I am Groot. Doesn't say anything different. It's the same thing over and over.
See, and I'm pretty much completely lost because I have no idea what Parks and Recreation is.
Well, look, at least
I killed Sam.
Yeah, at least you didn't die over when I said I've never read a comic book and a graphic novel and didn't even get to finish where I was going with that. But
yeah, because we're gonna ignore that. That doesn't, that's blasphemy.
Well, I mean, there's like 3 of them right there.
Well, no, what I was gonna say is back to Sam's original point when he started this was, so when I watch your DC and the Marvel stuff, when we watch these movies, I'm coming at it strictly from the, does that movie meet my excitement meter? Does it pull me in? Does it, that's where I can truly give it that 20 minutes and say, this is crap. I can't do anymore. Or that's the best 20 minutes. What else are you giving me? But also at the end of the movie.
Are you not entertained?
Right? Then at the end of the movie or the show, whatever, it leads us into conversations because then I'm asking, why is that? What is that? So it's exposing me to a whole nother world of things.
Right.
Which is great for us because it makes sure that there's never stale between us. It's there's conversation, there's exploration.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I love about not being the geek in this relationship. There's a bonus to dating me.
But, and I get that, but I don't know why Wheel of Time bothers me so much. I mean, it's probably just the fact that I was so into those books and I got so sucked into them. And then that show was such a disappointment. And it didn't suck me in. But you got sucked into it and you didn't even get to finish it.
But I got sucked in because I had no background to go on it.
Right.
So for you, the Wheel of Time does you like that. For me, it's Charmed. So I love the original Charmed. But when they rebooted Charmed, I went into that whole I'm not watching the reboot. It's never going to be the same. And I knew that. But I went ahead and watched the first episode just to, maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll hit it. You know, it'll be great. It was horrible. It was hard to make it through that first episode. But I did a second episode just because, you know, sometimes pilots are crap versions anyway. Even that second episode still didn't draw me in. It hurt me because there were so many changes. It was, now we're all cousins instead of, it's two sisters and a cousin. And, you know, Grams wasn't even around in the storyline. It was so much of a change for me.
Which show?
I can do the Charmed reboot because it crushed me. It wasn't anywhere near my original. I'd much rather them have picked up 20 years down the road with the kids. And, you know, not even have the original cast make a cameo. Just give me further down the road what happened in 20 years to those kids. Did they, you know, keep the line going? Did they make a deal and give up their powers? You know, things like that.
Yeah.
So I get your Wheel of Time. I get why it hurts you. It's just that thing for you.
There's nothing wrong with wanting it to be the way that you envision it. I am a super duper fan of Anne Rice's vampire series, The Vampire Chronicles. Uber fan. My son's name is Marius Armand. Uber fan.
Are you watching the new one or the old one?
No, he may be right, or whoever it is. He may be right about the new one.
I'm watching it now.
Still.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I never watched. I never even gave it a chance.
The reboot or the original?
The reboot.
Yeah, he's watching the new Charmed. So there's a new Interview with the Vampire. And we have the original Interview with the Vampire,
which I know you weren't entirely happy with.
That was hot. No, I mean, I wasn't thrilled with it, but the problem is because having read the book, the way the characters are described, this is your Jack Reacher issue. You describe the character in the book and you give a description of what they look like, and then you show. You off tomorrow?
Who? Me?
You.
Yeah. Me.
Yes, you.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm not have to be off tomorrow.
I'm not gonna do that.
Is you?
No, I'm not gonna just like down my whiskey. No, I'm sipping mine.
I mean,
in his defense, he had like this much in that cup, so he's good.
You only gave me that much? Shit, I usually give myself that much.
You want me to go make you something else?
I'm out of Mountain Dew.
I will have your ass on the couch here in like 5 minutes when I make my drinks.
Oh, that was your Mountain Dew, your whiskey dew.
Yeah. Which is not bad.
Mountain whiskey actually sounds like that could be a thing.
Huh?
That sounds like a drink. Let me get a mountain whiskey. that sounds like a thing. A whiskey dew sounds like, wait, what?
Sounds like what you asked for when you've had too many.
Let me get a whiskey dew. Or what that whiskey do. You know, so I don't know. Give me a minute. I'll come up with something funny for that. But when you have these shows, that was not the comment I was making.
No, we were talking about Reacher. The size description.
Right. So you have these descriptions that are given to you in the book. And when you see the character on screen for the first time, you kind of already have a vision in your head of what they look like. Now, if somebody gave you a description of somebody and told you to draw that person, and you had the artistic fortitude to do that, and somebody gave me a description of somebody and told me to draw that person, and I had the artistic fortitude to do that, those two people would not look the same. But if we're given the same descriptions, they should look similar. When you have Tom Cruise walking out as Jack Reacher, that don't match the description. When you have Tom Cruise walking out as Louis Lestat, the Lioncourt, that doesn't match the description. Brad Pitt actually did an okay job matching the description of Louis. Antonio Banderas, not exactly a great description of Marius based on who the character Marius is and was. So you get very caught up in what these characters should look like, how you feel about them. You have favorite characters you like, characters you don't like. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the two characters, Marius and Armand, as that's my son's name. Just because Louis Lestat just wasn't going to have a good ring to it. You know, oh, this is my son, Louis Lestat Morgan. What? I'm not naming my kid Lestat. But you get these descriptions and you see these live action versions of these descriptions, and when they don't match, you're already taken back by that. Then you take the story and you chop and screw it so that I can't say that I've ever read a major novel in 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you think about it in the context of like, it takes me 5 minutes to read the description of a building and 5 seconds to look at it. I'm not going to take in all of the same details in those 5 seconds that I'm going to get out of that 5 minutes of reading. I'm just going to see colors, shapes, and sizes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's going to be a splash on my eyes, hits the cone, the cortex, touches my brain, and boom, I saw it. But it won't be till the third time that I'm watching it and I pause it when we get to that building and I look at the house and remember that they described it and it said that it was a brick house, maybe built in the late 1200s and da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're giving the description of these different things that make a difference in the story, now it's going to be relevant. And the best example of that is when we get to Queen of the Damned and we start talking about Akasha, who was basically an Egyptian princess who became the first vampire. You know what I'm saying? Like she's been inside a stone tomb for like millennium. You know what I'm saying? She has sat so still for so long, her skin has like turned into marble. But she's ancient Egyptian. Now, do we know where Egypt is? I do not want to see anybody that looks like some of these Egyptians we be seeing in movies. Don't do that.
I mean, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
So when you bring Aaliyah, the singer, rest in peace, when you bring her in to depict an Egyptian princess, okay, that looks like that could be an Egyptian princess. I mean, she's no Elizabeth Taylor, but Elizabeth Taylor was an actress who portrayed Cleopatra one time a while ago, and there was problems with it then. But, you know, you look at something like 2016 Gods of Egypt, and I like Gerard Butler. I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
It had Nichols Coaster, the Game of Thrones. What's Handboy? Lannister, Jamie Lannister. Like I struggled with that.
Hand boy.
Hand boy, right? Because he had the little golden hand.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
That was the first thing that came to mind. Was,
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Not Kingslayer.
no hand boy.
Yeah.
Hand boy. I mean, we could have went sister. Okay,
That-
anyway. We could have went there. You know, like, but Gerard Butler, and see, and again, that goes back to the other point of like, you could easily say to somebody, hey, are you gonna go see that new Gerard Butler film?
I mean, it's Gerard Butler.
Bingo. Gerard Butler is a draw. So you bring him in, sure, you could make him a god of Egypt. Why the hell not? It's Gerard Butler. Maybe you don't because it's Gerard Butler.
But
Right?
see, I like Gerard Butler better in that movie than I like Jamie Lannister in that movie. I can only see Jamie Lannister as Jamie Lannister. Anything else he plays as is just a crap role for
It's fine.
But my whole thing is like I was unaware that Egyptians were pasty white Irishmen.
But yeah,
Exactly my point. I mean, when you get around to like Abby Lee, as pale as she is, cannot be a god of Egypt at all. At all. No.
Mm-mm.
Brian Brown. That's where they should have known they messed up. Brian Brown. He was the dude from the movie back in the day, FX. Like that. I don't even know how to like. That's one of those moments where I'm like really showing my age.
Why? Because we remember good movies.
Well, it's not even good. Like, just the actor Brian Brown. Like, I only know him from like 2 movies. Well, technically 3.
But I mean,
FX 2, and Cocktail.
But y'all are doing better than me because I don't know him at all.
Right, and that's my point. But
FX was like a cinematic masterpiece for its time.
Oh, it was, yeah. FX is still like I would probably enjoy watching that now just because of everything like you could do in it. And they had Brian Dennehy was in that movie also.
Mm-hmm.
And those are there was like, I don't know why, but the fact that there were both main guys' name in the movie was Brian just sticks out in my head. And that was something that it was dumb, but I remember that. And that was just a thing. But yeah, FX and like something like Darkman. Remember that Liam Neeson, like the superhero?
Oh yeah,
he could like he could be anybody.
Yeah,
so, but yeah, like that's where, in a sense, like casting and having some connection to the story is good and is bad because if there wasn't such a very clear description of Akasha, then sure, any female lead that you want to put in the role, you could do that. But because there was a very clear understanding of what she was supposed to look like, it was important that, the character that's playing Akasha look like she could be Akasha. They did much better coming back with Stuart Townsend as Lestat because he was a more believable Lestat. Although I will say what Tom Cruise did get right, he definitely has that Lestat swag.
Oh, most definitely.
And I will give, and that's why honestly that movie wasn't just horrible because he does have that Lestat swag.
Why? I'm scared now. I'm a little scared now, Sam.
Why?
I want to know why you pulled that book out while we're talking about books and movies that
because we were talking
that
about
have been made from books.
We were talking about descriptions of characters.
Was that 50 Shades?
Yes.
Can we talk about that here?
Well,
What time is it? I think it's gag after dark. Go ahead.
I mean, it's 11:30.
Well, I remember making a comment to you at one point that I don't like who they picked for Christian Grey. Like, out of the two,
Oh yeah.
I think Charlie Hunnam would have been a better physical look. But I think
No.
it's more.
No.
See, that's what I got the book for. I wanted to reread the description, but I think my issue is not with his physical look. I think my issue is more with his personality. Like, Christian Grey to me comes off as this cold, demanding, yet there's this part that draws you in. But I don't get that from watching him.
He thinks that's what he wants to be.
So are we basing these descriptions off of our understanding of the character in the book or the depiction of the character on screen?
I haven't read the book in years, so I have to go back and read that description, which is why I got it off the shelf.
Okay.
We jumped ahead of the script.
No problem. I mean, the fact that we all read the book, though, that's the thing.
I only read it because somebody suggested I read it.
I don't know what you're
And
talking
then
about.
you read it to me.
It's
over the phone.
it's a good read.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never.
That was, you know what? That was honestly, I remember that was earlier days of, I won't even say the earlier days of YouTube, but that was before YouTube became the kind of platform it is now.
Yeah.
And somebody, like, audiobooks hadn't fully become a thing yet, but somebody was reading the book and uploading their readings to YouTube. And so you could go and, like, there was whole chapters this girl was reading. You could like play YouTube on your phone and get the whole chapter read. I remember that because that was how I got through a lot of the second book.
Well, while she's trying to figure that out, since we brought up Andor earlier, did you happen to see a post I made, 2 weeks ago? About the cards that I picked up when I was at CVS?
If you were talking about your Facebook, we're not Facebook friends. I don't know when you make posts over there.
Yes, I did see those. I did see that post.
Have you ever heard of Theory 11?
I have not. Who is Theory 11?
Theory 11 is a card company, like playing cards.
Is Theory 11 sponsoring us?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
No, that's cool. We don't have to be all extra if they not.
Yeah.
Theory 11. Oh my God, is that the new Theory 11 Star Wars Platinum deck? I can bring my excitement down because they're not sponsoring.
Yeah, they're not sponsoring us. So
cool.
You can definitely, but they have.
But no, seriously, what is it? Is that a light side deck and a dark side deck?
This is the dark side deck.
Okay.
Which the top.
The force is strong with this one.
And then we have the light side deck, which is blue.
Okay. Do or do not. There is no try.
Now, the only difference between these two decks, other than the outside packaging, is the color on the back of the cards.
Is one deck red and one deck blue?
Yes.
Just a guess.
Yeah. But and this honestly makes me want to get more of their cards. That's just the.
That's a very clean design.
Yeah. And then
what are your keys? Darth Vader.
Hold on. Let's. You got to check out the Jokers first.
Oh, look at that. BB-8. What's the little one's name?
I forget what the other one is.
That was the one that was in Last Jedi. So what else we got?
All right. So, which somehow these got a little mixed up, so I'm just trying to straighten them out real quick. But, of course, the kings, queens, jacks, and aces are all different.
Oh, the club is a TIE fighter. Nice.
I know you know who that is.
The Emperor. Mon Mofa? Blah.
I think so.
Okay, Kylo Ren. That's a Jack. Interesting. A Dagobah X-Wing. Not just an X-Wing, but a Dagobah X-Wing. Boba Fett, Jack of Spades. Okay. Amidala, Queen of Spades. Darth Vader, King of Spades. Okay. I was curious. I was wondering, were they going to go Anakin and...
Well, we haven't gotten all the way through yet.
So what's the... What was the Ace of Spades? Did you pull that one out?
Yeah, that was the Dagobah TIE Fighter. Or X-Wing.
Okay. I think I was so caught up in looking at the... Gotcha. You know what? I was so focused on the picture, I didn't recognize that it was a spade behind it. Gotcha. So that makes sense now with the king. Yeah. Okay, Slave One that's Boba Fett's ship. Lando Calrissian from Return of the Jedi. I feel like I'm being Star Wars trivia here. That's Rey Skywalker. Old Luke. Wait, hold that one back up. Was that his metal hand?
Hold on.
That was his metal hand.
Well, we'll get back to that.
The Millennium Falcon.
So you already know who that is.
Solo. Leia. Is that old Obi-Wan?
I'm thinking what it's supposed to be is the King of Hearts is the old Obi-Wan, and the King of Diamonds is the old
Luke. Old Luke, yeah.
But, and what I was hoping for was all of the face cards in the red deck were going to be the bad guys, and all the face cards in the blue deck were going to be good guys. But the only difference is the card back.
You've got 2 sets of face cards. Well, technically 4 sets of face cards. And would you even have enough bad guys to do King, Queen, Jack, Ace?
Well, see, the Ace is just ships.
Okay. So you would have to have King, Queen, Jack. So technically, you got to have... First of all, you got to have 8 women in Star Wars.
No, you only have to have 4 bad females and 4 good.
Okay. You could get away with Asajj Ventress. Asajj Ventress the assassin that tried to kill Amidala. Oh, there's another female assassin. She's blue. She has the big ponytail that comes off the back. Cannot think of her name at the moment. Well, actually, now that we have, depending on when those cards were printed, that would make a difference because now we have Book of Boba Fett, and we have some badass females.
This was back before, if I'm not mistaken, back before even Mandalorian.
Yeah, see.
So
I cannot off the dome think of 4 evil females.
See,
No.
we're not evil.
Asajj Ventress. She was the Padawan or the apprentice of Dooku. She's technically a Night Sister. So you've got her. Actually, you know what? That's 2 right there. You do Asajj Ventress and then just do a Night Sister. It's not cinematic Star Wars, but it's still Star Wars universe. Kind of counts. So yeah, you can do Asajj Ventress. And I'll admit it's being a little lazy to also do a Night Sister, but like I said, you've got her. So Asajj.
Well, I mean, she could be the Queen of Clubs. Lowest denomination. But yeah, I get where you're coming from on that there. Because I mean, there's plenty of bad guys.
Plenty of bad guys.
But
and honestly, even then, there's plenty of good female characters.
yeah.
Because I mean, like Mon Mothma, that's one. So Mon Mothma, Rey, Leia, that's 3 just right off the dome. Technically, if you wanted to go with the 4th, you could throw in well, they did Amidala, so you're good there. There's your 4. And even Mon Mothma is a generous addition, but she's got a little bit more screen time than everyone else. But you go past that, and you've got like Rose, you've got a couple of the pilots. You know what I'm saying? But again, we would probably only have the movies to pull from. And so that still kind of limits. But I mean, having watched Kenobi, Beru deserved a card. Shotty was gangster. Like, she was with the shits. So I want Beru to get more love.
Yeah.
Have you found the description, or are you just over there reading now? I think
I gave up on finding.
I think she was getting into that book over there. Look at, she got real quiet. What chapter you in? Wait a minute.
I'm not. I was looking up Star Wars female things.
Okay, I bet you were looking up Star Wars. No,
Right.
So here's the only point I want to make. Going back to 50 Shades for just a hot second, just because you brought it out and I want to talk about it. I do not like the idea at all of seeing Charlie Hunnam. Okay. I do not like the idea at all of having Charlie Hunnam in 50 Shades. While I get that he might be slightly sexier to the average female, he's got that gruff. Like, when I think of him, I think of that like gruff, burly King Arthur bit. And that is not Christian Grey.
No.
That right there is what immediately takes it away from me. Now, the man can shave. I get that. And maybe if he shaves, it'll work out. But is that even Charlie Hunnam if he shaves? The scruff is what makes his face. You know what I'm saying? I can't picture him with scruff, but I'm not their target demographic. So you know what I'm saying? Like, don't take my opinion for that part. But also, from what I've seen of his acting, he is not going to convince me that he is accustomed to a certain kind of lifestyle and being very accustomed to getting what he wants.
See,
I don't believe that. I believe what was the other guy's name? Jamie Dorman or something?
yeah.
That motherfucker look rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that.
I believe Charlie Hunnam as a scruffy nerf herder more than a billionaire.
He looks like a son of anarchy. That's what he looks like.
But see, I think that's why we all like. I think that's why he gets the female vote for the better version of Christian Grey, is because he has that son of anarchy background.
But that's the problem, is you're trying to fit somebody into a role that they just don't.
No. It becomes female wish fulfillment and not book description, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, I get it. I understand it. I do. Because at the same time that they were looking, that you were seeing all these posts about these women wanting Charlie as Christian, there was a bunch of males wanting Hermione as, I can't remember her name now. What was the female? Anna. Dude, it's been so long since I read those.
Yet you can rattle off every character from the Wheel of Time.
Because I'm currently in the middle of reading Wheel of Time.
I don't want to.
But no, I have no desire. I had no desire, but there was a large group of people that were wanting her to be in that role. And no, like, that honestly would have destroyed her career.
I mean, she hasn't done well. In fairness, my first comment: she hasn't done much since Harry Potter. The follow-up, she hasn't had to.
That is true. But she has done quite a bit since Harry Potter. Like, the only person that's done more since Harry Potter than her is Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe been busy.
Oh yeah.
That's which Emma is that?
Emma Watson. No, yes.
Yeah.
All I got to do is just look up her IMDb, because it ain't but 15 credits, and 7 of them is damn Harry Potter. That was Emma Watson, correct?
Yes.
She played Belle.
She has 24 credits, sir.
Okay, excuse me, 24.
And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. She's done 11 movies since the final Harry Potter. Now, she did a bunch of other stuff. She did a couple other things during.
Let me ask you something. Okay, I give you that. She's done. Okay, so Sorcerer's Stone, 2001. Chamber of Secrets, 2002. Azkaban, Goblet of Fire. Children's Party at the Palace. That was a TV special. I'm not even going to count that shit, but it's on there. Order of the Phoenix. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're up to 5. She got voice credit for Tales of Despero. Half-Blood Prince, that's 6. Forbidden Journey is a video short, but since she's reprising the same character, I'll give it credit. She was in a music video Bruh, come on. She ain't got 24 credits. She got like 15. What did I say the first time? That's like 17. I'm feeling like it's still 17 because half of this shit don't count. Deathly Hallows 1 and 2. Does that really count as 2 credits? Because IMDb counts it as 2 credits, will count it as 2 credits. Okay, Perks of Being a Wallflower. Legitimate credit. This is the end. Literally the only other credit that came to mind. And I haven't seen. Oh, okay. And Beauty and the Beast. Because you did mention Beauty and the Beast. I give her 3 credits outside of Harry Potter. I've not seen any of these other ones. And Little Women is at least a title worthy of respect. I remember The Circle. I think that was the Tom Hanks. Yeah, that was a Tom Hanks movie. Did you see The Circle?
No.
Okay, neither did I. Little Women. Again, I know the title, Little Women. I'm not even going to pretend like that's on my to-see list. It is not. I think the closest Little Women is ever going to get of having any interaction with me will be whatever was required when I was in high school. Beauty and the Beast. I did not see that, but I also had no personal desire to see that. No. Because for me, I'm good with the animated version ever. I need nothing more than that animated version. And truthfully, if I take a step outside of the animated version, I go a little too far back in my Elder Geek days. We're talking Linda Hamilton running through the sewers with Vincent on the real Beauty and the Beast. Ugh.
Yeah.
See, I'm a Disney girl, so like I gotta watch all my Disney movies and sing along with them. And
Which I'm not gonna lie, I watched the live action Beauty and the Beast simply because of the fact that she was in it.
And I'm good with
I
that.
wanted to check it out.
No. I have no problem with it. And I hope that it was a great movie. It looks like it might have been entertaining.
It wasn't horrible.
I like Luke Evans.
Mm.
I want more Luke Evans in movies. I think he is he has a very, I don't even know what to call it. Like he has an image. Like I want to put him in another movie. I want him to be in a movie because I like something about his face. Like it sucks that he was in Dracula Untold because that almost killed his shit.
I was sitting here thinking about that movie while he's talking.
Right, like you know what I'm saying? That almost killed his shit. But you go back a little bit, and he was real good. Fast and Furious. He was real good in what's the Immortals? He was Zeus in Immortals. And that was the first time I really like. He was in the Three Musketeers.
Like
the newer version with the Three Musketeers that had Mila Jovovich.
Is that the steampunk Three Musketeers?
Yes.
Okay.
Where they're on the dirigible.
Mm-hmm.
And D'Artagnan's like this. I don't even know what to call D'Artagnan in that one. But yeah, he was in that one. And he was really good at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, but you know what? That was also Paul Anderson. So, but he was Aramis. Ray Stevenson was freaking Porthos in that movie, dude. I like that movie. I do really actually like that movie. I like that movie a lot.
They have a kid who played Percy Jackson in that movie.
In which movie?
The Three Musketeers. He plays D'Artagnan.
Who plays
That's Percy Jackson?
Percy Jackson is in this Three Musketeers movie he's talking about. Logan Lerman.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. Percy Jackson is D'Artagnan?
Yes.
No.
Yes. I'm looking at him
I
right
promise you. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. No way.
No.
Percy Jackson is also D'Artagnan. Why does he look so different?
Hold on.
No, I'm not okay with that.
Logan Lerman is the American actor known for playing the title role in the fantasy adventure Percy Jackson.
Damn. Who's getting loud? I'm not getting loud.
Me, apparently.
Okay. Well, we'll bring it all down some. We've come to the ASMR portion of the video. Okay. Actually, what is our counter at? We're at 2:51. You know what? We only have 10 minutes left in the show, dude.
Okay.
I'm mad.
Is that late already?
Mhm.
I literally told you we were not doing a 3-hour show tonight.
Yeah, you did.
We were going to talk a couple topics. And we
Mm-hmm.
were going to get off.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
This is what
you
you do to
know,
me.
you and me, or you, me, and Jeff cannot be left alone together.
I think honestly, you know what? We should do a separate show on another day, just the three of us. You, me, and Jeff.
Yeah.
And look, don't feel like you gotta tiptoe because I'm suggesting it.
No. I'm just thinking about the fact that, like, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, Friday and Saturday are pretty much out for me because of work.
Friday,
Because
Saturday. Okay.
3 a.m. comes very early.
It does.
Like, yes, Thursday is our only day that her and I both have off together. So no, I don't work on Thursdays.
Stay low.
Which is why I love us doing this on Wednesdays, because it doesn't matter what time I get up in the morning,
Right.
because I'm still going to wake up before her.
Cool. My drink has
Tell
kicked
me
in.
I'm
Did
wrong.
you see the size of my glass? I have a massive glass.
Did
Look,
you
dude,
see
I'm
the
putting
look
it
she gave me? Or was that why you're trying to distract me with your glass?
a little bit. Go ahead.
So, pretty much Saturday through Wednesday, I'm good.
Right.
Or Sunday through Wednesday, I'm good. Yeah. Is that what I said?
No, you
I
said
said Saturday
Saturday, but
through
you
Wednesday.
meant Sunday.
He meant Sunday. He
Yeah.
meant Sunday. He still thinks in terms of
Third shift.
third shift. Because when we talk, he says things. He's like, well, I don't have anything to do that day. And I'm like, sleep. yeah, you do. But I know what he means. So that kind of works out.
Well, earlier we were talking about movies and names of kids and things like that. So to tie into that for a second in our Charmed conversation, my youngest was almost named Balthazar Cole.
I love the name Balthazar, and anybody brave enough to name their kid Balthazar.
Yeah, well, we won't go there. Never mind.
It's not too late.
Yeah, it is.
So, Joe, was that you that just came down?
I've been down here.
Was
Okay, cool.
Who is that?
Oh, that was
That
mine
Mom?
that started to come down. No, my boys are up and they're moving around. So now I can request. You get ready to go somewhere?
I'm coming back.
Okay. I was gonna I need a small refill.
Got you. Ginger and Paul.
Um,
Blueberry Paul or Bull and Paul.
just no bull because it's too late for that. Just a little, you know what? Just a little Crown on the Rocks. But make it a single, not a double, because I'll be going to bed shortly. Should not be able to talk to my kids in the context of quantity.
Sam,
Yes.
all of yours can drink now.
All of mine are of legal age. My daughter and my wife finished off a bottle of wine yesterday. My wife was pouring a bottle. She was pouring a glass of wine for herself. And my daughter was like, what is that? Ooh, pour me a glass. And then my wife turns the bottle up in another glass. And then my daughter was like, I didn't want that much. And she was like, well, here, take this one. And she gives her the smaller glass. And I'm like, that's my reality. Like, that's a real thing that happens. Like, it was a thing, you know, oh, my boys turned 18. I might take a shot with them because they're 18. Yeah. Now it's like, he comes up here drinking my drink. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got
exactly
2 out of 3 that can do that.
right. That's why you don't do that. All right. Well, be careful. I know. I just
Wait, did he just take a sip of your drink and now he's fixing to go get in the cart?
no. He was. It was a faking thing because he was bringing the drink to me. But every time they walk out of the house, if I'm awake and coherent, I tell them, be safe, be careful, make good choices.
Well, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do as a father.
All right. I would rather like reprimand you and try to strike a little fear before you go, as opposed to having to answer the call and not be mad later. You know? That's how I look at it. But there was another point that we were trying to make before we got slightly distracted with me getting a refill. What was that point?
We were talking about weird children's names. Balthazar Cole was going to be mine.
Well, I mean, I have one that is named after Heath Ledger, and another one that is named after a character from fucking Highlander. Yeah,
I've got a vampire kid, so I mean, that's how you show your dedication.
Yes, see, mine got vetoed by the man that was overseas while I was, carrying this child. So Balthazar Cole was turned down. Sebastian Cole was turned down. He settled on Nicholas Cole, and I told him I was spelling Nicholas weird. So Nicholas is spelled Nicholos.
I like it.
And now Nicholas is not even a Nicholas anymore.
And I'm confused.
She is now Nicole.
Oh, Nicholas is. Wait a minute.
She is now Nicole Elizabeth.
So let me tiptoe around in the most PC possible way. Has Nicholas always been her?
She became Nicole 5 years ago.
That's a transition?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And legitimate. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to ask. So, damn, that's a waste of a good Nicholas, though. Nicole's going to have to adopt and name her kid Nicholas, because you can't waste that Nicholas.
Right. Well, technically, all the paperwork still says Nicholas right now. She's only 16. So.
Oh, okay. Well, but I mean, if it's inevitable, then
yeah, her daddy is not taking this very well. He still has not adjusted. It is still a he, him, at her. So yeah.
You know what? It's okay. He's got 2 years to deal with it, and then it won't fucking matter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we get into a 2-bedroom,
right?
Here, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell Nicole to watch episode 2, season 3 of Umbrella Academy.
Why season 2, episode 3?
That's when she becomes.
Did I say that backwards?
Yeah.
Okay. Shut up.
Two.
Thank you.
It's season 3, episode 2.
Thank you.
Which, that's another thing. Lock and Key.
Go ahead. I did not watch Lock and Key at all.
Okay.
Is the new season coming out?
Yes, that's what I was trying to show you earlier.
Thank God.
Yeah, we've been waiting forever for season 3.
It's the final season.
It's the final season. Sorry.
Ooh, speaking of season, I'll get back to that in a minute. But
you got like 2 minutes to wrap up.
So
get to it now.
Season 3 of Lock and Key is coming out this month.
Boom.
So we'll do that. And they wrapped up filming on season 2 of Wheel of Time the end of May.
When does that come out?
No release date.
No release date. Okay.
But wrapped up filming May.
It'll be like
this
Batgirl.
year.
They'll just cancel it because it's already done.
No,
I am still heartbroken over that. I promise you, I'm heartbroken over that.
Were they in post production on that?
Yes, they had already increased the budget from 70 million to 90 million. They had an all-star cast. All principal photography was completed. And then it just got shelved. Like they were just like, nope, not going to do it. One report says that because the movie was only going to release on HBO, like it was not being released as a theatrical release. And one report I read said Warner Brothers is trying to focus on theatrical releases. Like basically now that shit's open up again, they trying to get back to big blockbusters. Y'all not $1 billion comic company yet. You need to like take baby steps, win back the public trust, do a good fucking Batgirl show, make people fall in love with that. And then when you hit us with a big Shazam and a Black Adam and you double down and the Flash ends up not sucking as a movie, you got us all, you got everybody back. But no, they're not doing that. They took Batgirl, pulled it all the way off. Now you read another report, and I believe it was Dateline that reported this, and they were saying that the test screenings for Batgirl were so bad, that's why it got canceled. But if you read the report on IGN, Polygon, and it's like 2 people are reporting that the show was so bad it got canceled, and then 2 people were reporting that it just got canceled because it doesn't live up to what they want it to be. Yes, they are all over the place, just like my ass got as soon as we started drinking. I was doing good. We was on topic and everything was good. But here's tonight's. This is going to be our 15-second highlight. Charlie Hunnam is not a good Christian Grey ever. I don't care how sexy you think he is. He's too mean, and if he ties you up, that's the end of shit for you. Not good. Wheel of Time. Maybe don't read the books if you enjoy the show. Warner Brothers. What the fuck, man? What are you doing? Stop messing up the DCEU. Lawrence, thank you for jumping in. Russell, thank you for jumping in. David, my man, I'm so glad we got a chance to hang out tonight, have some drinks, talk some shit, and do all things geek. I'm gonna talk with it, and I think you, me, and Jeff, we should just have like we got to do something. We should literally do something because I'm gonna have another show. I got another show because all I do is think of new shows. I can't do a bunch of them, but I always have a new show in mind, and I have another new show in mind, and we're gonna do that. It's gonna be great. And it'll be 3 of us, and we'll always have an open slot for a guest to come in. So you can be its guest as many times as you like. HBO Max news sucks for... Is this some news that I missed? Because I just fucking started. I did 3 episodes of Harley Quinn back to back because they're like 22 minutes, and they are the fucking best. Let me just say something.
Oh.
Penny has a very filthy mouth. I love it. I'm here for it. Penny Hofstetter.
Check that out.
Penny Hofstetter is just a filthy, bad little girl.
But which I actually watched Flashpoint Paradox earlier.
Why would you say that at the end of the fucking show?
We got distracted.
We could have spent the whole episode talking about Flashpoint Paradox.
And we would have missed all the stuff we did talk about.
That's on you.
But we would have missed everything we did talk about.
Holy shit. I missed this article. HBO Max is going to lay off 70% of staff in scripted content.
So much for HBO being around anymore.
The
Yeah.
fuck is HBO Max going to even show?
Which, I mean, they're getting rid of
The
the
Harry,
Harry Potter series the end of this month. Yeah.
Bro. What the hell is Warner Brothers doing? They get with Discovery. Oh my God. This is why I'm working 6 days overtime for like the 4th week in a row. Do you know the parent company of all this shit?
AT&T.
Okay, folks, that's our show. Oh my God. I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Kick the QR code above. And stay tuned. We got a lot of things about to be in the pipeline. We've got a really interesting show coming up with Jeff and Ty. Apparently, I'm going to create a whole new show with Jeff and David because I'm just up here drinking, talking shit, making notes. So I don't know exactly what that show is going to be, but that's going to be some fun.
What's coming out with Jeff and Ty?
I'll talk to you offline.
Okay.
And I want to thank all the people who have been with us tonight. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I want to thank Russell. I want to thank Lawrence. Lawrence hit me up with your we texted earlier, so you got the information. They are merging with Discovery Plus. So does that mean the content will be available on Discovery Plus, or it's going to be one streaming service that has the Discovery content and the HBO content?
I'm reading an article now that says it sounds like they're not doing HBO Max scripted shows anymore, with HBO taking over. So less scripted shows overall. Like they're just getting rid of scripted.
I don't understand. Even a sketch comedy show is scripted. So what does that mean, scripted? Aren't movies scripted? That's a very bad.
Aren't even like their exploring the wilderness shows scripted?
Fucking reality shows are scripted. I need clarification on what is and is not going to be available, because it doesn't make sense.
Which would mean that like Westworld's going away.
No, you're good.
Also, you're gonna want to put salt and pepper in that rice. That rice is bland. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. Westworld. I should probably get through season 1.
I can't get through 2.
Okay, so it gets more difficult to enjoy?
No, you know me. I get bored. Like if I watch something too much.
Yeah, he got me sucked into the Flash and then left me in like season 3, so I have no idea.
I mean, I also have watched up to season 5 already. So I'm rewatching, but that's irrelevant. All right, let's.
Right.
We're
gonna try to end this show for the 3rd time, or maybe the 4th. I don't know. But the funny thing is like that's the problem with a show like this. Mm-hmm. I am literally sitting here talking with my friends.
Yeah.
How the fuck do I end a show like that? I don't end a show like that. I keep talking because there's still stuff to talk about. Harley Quinn is Max only. Harley Quinn can only be on Max. Harley Quinn is.
How about it?
Like that is such a great show. That is
I need to watch that. I need to watch that.
Better hurry up before they get rid of it.
That's only going to be on HBO Max, so you don't have to worry about them getting rid of that. But I am worried about like some of their. We would almost call it like licensed content, the stuff that's just available because it's HBO
like
licensed.
Like Game
Like-
of Thrones.
No.
Games.
Game of Thrones, like I'm sure if it's an HBO exclusive, it'll still only be on HBO Max. But anything that like is licensed and therefore pushed to HBO,
Mm,
for example, all of the Harry Potter movies.
mm.
You see what I'm saying? They have that through acquisition. Excuse me, they have that through acquisition, not through production. Stuff
got
like that probably gets pushed off and moved to the side.
That's going to either Paramount or yeah, I'm not sure. It's going somewhere else.
No, like I'm I mean, I can't say that I'm completely sure, but I am strongly confident that that's how all of that is working together and how those decisions are being made. And licensing is everything. Like, I mean, I'm in telecommunications, you know what I'm saying? Like, I typically don't on air say where I work just in case, like, I know there's like, we have this very strict social media policy at my job. I normally just refer to it as my job, but I know that with my job, one of the things that I read about from time to time is the big push on licensing. And that's where everything is going, because as we continue to move forward here in 2022, you think about all the things that are available to us at the drop of a dime, at the push of a button. You pick up your phone and you have a whole meal brought to your house. You don't have to do shit. You need groceries, they're delivered. Stuff that you know you need regularly, hey, Alexa. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things, certain forms of automation, and we're getting closer and closer to the Jetsons every day. So it won't be long before no one goes to a theater. You just have the content sent to you directly from whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, even going to the theater, there may always exist a theater, because as far back as we know for recorded history, people have come out collectively to watch events in union, in congregation. And if you need proof of that, just go back all the way to the crucifixion of Jesus, because they made like a whole show of that, and everybody came out that Sunday. Folks was out in droves to see the latest crucifixion. That was a thing. Crucifixion. I cannot crucifixion. I was like, nobody was going to correct me. I was just going to let me sound stupid like that.
I
See how you
mean,
got to me?
I apologize. I was
Crucifixion. That was okay with you? You was good with that? You knew what I meant?
now.
Busy.
I am attempting to send you a news article that somebody told me I need to send to you. So I'm sending it to you.
I mean, is it worthy to be displayed on the screen? Should we let everybody see it?
It's the article about HBO stopping its scripted content.
Oh hell, I'll probably get a there's I will read that article later. I don't have a way to say that and not say it. So yeah, probably an email soon. But
All right. Wrap it up.
we're gonna try number 4.
Yeah.
We're gonna try for number 4.
I saw your eyes closed, so
No, they didn't close. I did like this. I was like, let's see. What else? That's what they did. So I was very aware. But I am thinking, I've not had a cigarette in 3 hours and 15 minutes.
I'm in the same boat, sir.
I've been having a drink. So I'll call you shortly. We'll talk some more. But for David and Sam, this has been Weigh In Wednesdays. We appreciate you being with us. To all our guests, thank you for being on. Make sure to tell your friends Wednesdays, 9:05 p.m. Weigh in Wednesdays. We are Grown A Geeks, and we are out of here.